How are you, man?
Hey Nelson, thanks for having me. I'm sorry it was such short notice, but I'm so excited for these games. And before we get started, I just want to say a massive thank you for actually sponsoring this series, because these games are going to be awesome. And I'm really, really hyped right now, and I hope everyone watching is really hyped as well. And I want to say as well that you're one of my favorite casters that casts Age of Empires. I think you do such an amazing job, and I've wanted to cast with you for a while, so this is going to be really awesome.
Straight back to you, my friends. Right back at you. I love your job. Love what you have done with this game. Love what you have done with the whole casting scene of this game. And I just realized that I completely messed up this. I had my microphone muted on OBS, so here we go, people. I'm gonna repeat everything once again. A huge surprise, well, not a huge surprise anymore, because you guys just heard of, yes, Zero Empires, the owner of one of the biggest channels, if not the very biggest channel of Age of Empires, is here with me. He accepted our invitation to co-cast with me, and it's a huge honor for me and for Vulby Official to have him here with us. Thank you so much, Zero. Yeah, you don't need to repeat everything I just said, because TeamSpeak was not muted, but only myself was muted. And the players are here. We're gonna start the game. Let me just make sure I'm gonna give the host back to Viper. Spectate myself. Make sure to spectate yourself too. Feel free to start. Good luck. Have fun. And I just need to mention here that this won't be the last match between these two players before the Maldives. Do keep in mind, guys, that Zero Empires is hosting a tournament as well, and we're now in the very last round, if I'm not mistaken, Zero. And these guys will be playing each other once more. We still don't know for sure when exactly that will be, right? But it's going to be this week. Tell us a little bit about that tournament that you've been hosting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it should end this week, but there's been a few delays with players scheduling, and I think that's kind of expected when it's a round robin. And there's been a lot of other events, you know, like the Nations Cup, and obviously WSVG at the start of the event as well. But yeah, they will meet next week, I believe, depending if they want to play next week. They could delay it to the week after. But it should be, again, basically the decider between who wins the Platinum League of the Empire Collective Cup. Will it be the Viper or RiuT? And I think this game, or this set right here, is going to be really exciting for two reasons. Not only is it a run-up to WSVG finals in the Maldives, obviously, but it's also a run-up to the Tech kind of finals, if you could call it that. So it should be really exciting to see how these guys do today, and see whether or not there's a kind of grudge match next week as well, and also in the finals of the Maldives event.
Yeah, delays on Age of Empires tournaments. Where have I heard that before? It's certainly nothing new to me. It's certainly nothing new to you as well. But thank you so much for hosting this incredible tournament as well. And as you can see, guys, tournaments just keep popping up here and there. Something we would never have expected, Zero, like 3 years ago, where we were basically fighting to have one tournament running at once. And now we have like 2, 3 non-stop tournaments. We've come a very, very long way, that's for sure.
It's really awesome. And obviously, you know, the Tyrant sponsor's been around for a long time now, doing these big events, but there's not really been so many side events or smaller events to fill the gaps, and so it's really cool that we have so much going on. And obviously I don't think that's possible without all of the support of all the viewers and the people donating to these events and all of that stuff as well.
Indeed, a very, very loyal community we have here, and we've always had, to be honest. It's quite incredible how we were able to grow in this couple of last months and years. Of course, one of those big helps was the release of the HD Age of Empires on Steam, which has helped us grow a little bit more. But let's concentrate on this game, Zero. The game is just starting right now, and this is the preparation match for the WSVG event that is going to happen in just about 2 weeks. Zero, most of the times I like to start with a small analysis of the map. Let's talk a little bit how the map looks like. Let's just give our viewers a small piece of information. We are going to start with an Arabia Hunts War. Players have got 1 restart at their disposal, so I'm really not expecting to see a restart on this very first match. We've got right here on the top left side, Viper playing the Hunts, of course, on the blue color. Right down here on the right side, Right south side, I would say, we've got RiuT with Huns as well. Zero, tell us a little bit about the maps.
Okay, so yeah, game one, Arabia Huns, and honestly, I just love this setup. It's so common in Age of Empires, but I always like to call it the bread and butter of AOC, because it's a setting that so many players are familiar with, and I think it's one that really puts players to the test, mostly, sort of in speed, in micromanagement, and obviously with both of these players being so fast, Viper and RiuT both known for their incredible speed, we can expect to see a lot of micro, a lot of very intense fights on this map, and obviously with it being so open, it really does lead into that quite nicely. But do you want to have a look at each player's map?
Let's start talking about Viper first. I can see a forward gold right there, Zero, something players usually don't like to have. And altogether, I would have to say the map is quite open for Viper. He's got 2 forward stones right here on the right side as well. His second gold very forward as well. So the only good thing I can see so far is a very nice wood patch back there. He's going to get it straight away, and not a very good map, Zero, so far, in my opinion.
Not really. I mean, both of his bore on the back, so I guess reduced chance of having them stolen. But that gold on the back as well is in a horrible position. In fact, every single gold pile here is pretty awkward for him. And, if RiuT's quite aggressive and has Viper in a defensive position, we might end up seeing a tower coming out from him, maybe on the gold or the stone, depending if he goes for some more towers later on. But with this being so aggressive, open, and with his golds being so forward, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Viper do some early aggression and basically just try and take the fight to RiuT here, so he doesn't have to worry about defending too many angles back at home.
I would love to see that indeed. Let's switch back to RiuT's map. RiuT has got a lovely gold right here at the very edge of the map, quite behind his town center. What a lovely goal this guy has got here. The wood is at the front, Zero, not exactly optimal, but still quite wallable in my opinion. He's got a small gap here between those 2 forest patches. The right side of the map, I would have to say it's quite open, but all in all, a better map for RiuT here in my opinion, Zero.
Oh, definitely, I would agree. And the biggest drawback here for him is definitely that wood. Not only is it kind of on the front here, but it's also on a hill, and his second wood is not much better either. So I think both players have pretty awkward maps, to be honest with you. And I'll be really interested to see how this kind of influences things. And I think one thing to note here for RiuT as well is that this hill on the front is going to give Viper that all-important attack bonus downhill if he comes in on this front side, and also on the back side as well, though maybe RiuT will be tempted to wall that up.
Very much indeed. I was just taking a look at the resources distribution here, the villager distribution by both players. You've got Viper here almost losing a villager. Looks to me like he will be able to save it. Nice job here by Vipers, blocking the path of the villager with that sheep. But Zero, something to note. We've got 3 villagers on wood by RiuT, and we've got 4 villagers on wood by Viper. This is not a science, of course, but most times 4 villagers on wood do indicate a drush, and we see indeed a barracks going down here by the Viper. The Viper is going to go for a drush here. RiuT only on 3 villagers on wood. A farm has been dropped too, so I would have to guess here, Zero, we're going to see scouts from RiuT, and we're going to see a drush from the Viper.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you've read that really well, and obviously that barracks coming down, I think, like we said earlier on, with the gold being so forward, with this map being so open, he wants to be nice and aggressive earlier on and try and lock RiuT up in his own base, perhaps give him time to wall a little bit. And I don't know how serious the Viper is. I know a lot of the time when he's playing friendly games, he doesn't like to wall, but I know in a more competitive environment, he does wall up a little more. So we'll see if he takes the opportunity to wall up. But you're right, that drush going to be coming in very soon. And we'll see if RiuT is able to throw down some quick walls and defend from this just a few moments' time.
I was just checking RiuT's point of view, and he was able to scout this very much on time. He knows exactly what's coming on his way. He's even going to have a small encounter here with a militia, or maybe not. Anyway, Viper does not want to lose any time. He goes in with those militia. He knows exactly that RiuT is going to go for a feudal age and scouts, so he will try to find a nice spot to hit here, Zero. As we just pointed out before, it looks like both of RiuT's wood would be a very nice spot to start hitting, and looks to be like that is exactly where Viper is going in the first place. Let's take a
Yeah,
look
I'm
at
just
this.
wondering now if he's going to pick up a villager kill here. Obviously, that downhill attack advantage is going to come into play as RiuT runs some vills back down this hill. Seems like a quite delayed reaction from him, actually, bringing those villagers now to the fight. And I think, yeah, trying to wall up the south side. So
Indeed,
that,
I think he was busy trying to get the barracks down in time, and I think that's what happened. Looks like Viper just lost here in Militia with the help of that wolf. RiuT starts to fight this with a couple of villagers, needs to move away. All of his wood line right there on the top of his map, not ideal for him, Zero. But then again, I guess when you're going for scouts, the only thing you want to have at the very beginning, it's just food. You only need food to get those scouts running, so maybe not too horrible for him.
He does have plenty of food at the moment, but of course he's going to need some farms pretty soon as the sheep start to run out. Maybe he'll send a few more vills out to berries fairly soon. But immediately doing double bit axe here and getting that stable up, so he's going to get those scouts out. But yeah, kind of less than ideal, having being pushed away from this wood line at the top already. And Viper here. Ooh,
yeah, he goes back right there with those villagers. Yeah, I wasn't sure about this, but it looks like we're just gonna try to micro this away, use the scouts, use the villagers, and I think Viper's gonna like this very much. He's making sure he's not being attacked at home. RiuT needs to move one of the scouts before he gets one of them down here. He's doing that at this very point. Looks to me like he wasn't able to really engage in a very nice fight here. At the same time, Zero, we can see Viper going forward with 4 villagers. RiuT is gonna be able to scout this just on time. There it is. He killed all of the militias, lost 1 scout in the process. But then again, not too bad for him. Let's see if he's going to be able to do something major here on those villagers from Viper.
I love this aggression from Viper, though. This forward archery ranges here, really nice. But yeah, look at that. Viper losing 2 villagers here as he runs back now.
Viper losing already a villager, indeed.
Oh, love it. Walling up the archery ranges, wasting no time. Whilst Viper has very few units on the map, he's going to take this opportunity. This is huge because Viper's invested so many resources into these ranges, and he's hardly been able to make 2 or 3 archers yet before they're walled up, basically being made redundant.
Yeah, one of them is now completely out of combat. Viper was able to kill one of the scouts with a villager. Looks like he's going to be able to take another one. RiuT does that really nicely, does not lose a single scout, takes another villager down with him, and looks like that was really, really good for RiuT right here. Viper is going to bring in 1 more spear. Looks like he could take that scout down. Indeed, he did. So I'm not sure if was going to have the advantage here, Zero. Viper did lose all of his villagers. RiuT just lost 1 himself as well. But RiuT basically did nothing with his scout rush on Viper's economy, so to speak. He was able to take down all of the villagers, but Viper's economy is still quite untouched at this very moment. What do you think about this, Zero? Who's got the advantage at this very moment?
I think RiuT has a small edge. The problem is at the moment he doesn't really have too much to deal with these villagers. Sure, he's taken down a bunch of vills from Viper on the front. He's currently 3 villagers ahead, and he has now had to build that watchtower as well. So that's obviously cost him quite a bit of stone. It's going to make it awkward when he goes to the castle age. He can't immediately throw down a 2nd or a 3rd TC. So RiuT here going to have to deal with these archers, and I think Viper pushing it back, saving 1 archery range is good enough for now. And like we said earlier on, he's still keeping RiuT kind of, stuck at home, and RiuT unable to hit Viper's economy right now. Back at Viper's base.
That's very much true, and I'm not sure he was able to spot these archers right here. He can see them right now. He goes straight away in their direction. These archers already have the +1 attack upgrade and range, so they are very much able to tackle these scouts on their own. I sort of have to think, why didn't RiuT wall that part over there in the south side of the base? Looks like that is going to hurt him a little bit more. He's not moving the villagers away, letting Viper just fire straight away into those villagers. He saw this just now, moving them away a little bit too late in my opinion. And Viper doing whatever he can with one of those archery ranges. I have to think, looks to me, Zero, that the 2nd archery range wasn't completely walled off here by RiuT. So Viper Viper is still able to take them out of that archery range. Let's see how the micro goes here for the Viper. RiuT has got a whole lot of scouts. He's focusing the right ones. This is really a nice attack here. Another archer goes down. Looks like the fight is going to go in favor of RiuT this time here. So looks like he's sending a couple more villagers as well, Zero. He will be able to wall down completely that archery range. A little bit too late for him. He did lose 1 or 2 villagers in the process. He's clearing the rest of Viper's army right there on his base with a couple of skirmishers right there. Viper just dropped a tower as well on RiuT's wood line, but looks like that tower is not going to do too much for the time being because RiuT was somewhere else with its villagers.
Yeah, he's able to move them to the wood line on the front, but yeah, this wood line is really horrible for RiuT right now. It's very inefficient. There's a lot of villager walking time, and there'll be a lot of bumping as well, as he has a lot of vills over there. But this is a good opportunity now for RiuT to finish those walls on the archery ranges and clean this up.
And especially take another 2 villagers right here, Zero.
Yeah.
He's moving away with one of the scouts. Really nicely done here. One of the villagers is down. The second one on the way. There it goes. Both of them are down. Looks like he will lose a scout in the process, but looks like he did the damage right here. Chasing away those 2 archers still alive from Viper. Looks like he will be able to take both of them. Loses a scout in the process. No big deal for him.
I love his decision to keep making scouts in that position there. He didn't rush up that second range or that first archery range. He just kept making scouts, and scouts are so strong against archers in small numbers. So RiuT was able to push up that hill and clean the Viper's archers up. Viper here, so far, losing 27 units, only killing 15. So the KD is certainly in favor of RiuT at the moment. But I think RiuT's still feeling the heat a little bit. Viper's aggression continuing to come in on this right side and hit these villagers on the wood line there.
Yeah, taking a look at the villager count, Zero, that's a 6 villager advantage for RiuT right here. That's quite huge in my opinion, to be honest. Viper's still trying to do a little bit of raiding here on RiuT's only wood line at this very moment. RiuT has got a couple of archers himself. He just completed the fledging upgrade, so that is not going to be a big problem for him. Viper looks like he is switching into scouts himself. You can see 2 of them here trying to fight the villagers from RiuT. He's bringing a third one into play as well, so I guess that was his only opportunity, his only option to try and get back the advantage here. He is very much behind in economy, Zero.
Very much. Not only has he lost out here on villagers, he's 7 behind, but he's also lost out his 2 archery ranges, which is, again, a lot of wasted resources. But this decision to go to scouts is interesting because at this point of the game, with the economies of these players being so large, with RiuT having so many farms and now making archers, we can expect RiuT to be going castle fairly soon, really.
Fairly soon,
Viper now
indeed.
switching to scouts. That's going to be costing him a lot of food, and it's going to really hurt his castle time here. And as long as RiuT can defend from these scouts, I think he's going to end up coming out on top here in quite a big way. Both of them doing wheelbarrow at the moment as well.
And it looks like Viper just lost 1 scout there, trying to get a villager. Looks like RiuT won't be too troubled about this scouts. He's fighting the right ones. Viper does not have any upgrades whatsoever. He takes down a villager. Nice job here by the Viper. But Zero, what am I seeing, man? I'm taking a look at Viper's resources. He had like 600 gold. He had like 600 gold. That's something I don't really see very often from such a player like the Viper. So it looks like RiuT was pretty much able to sort of mess him up a little bit. Mess up his economy, his perfection.
Yeah, his eco balance kind of being put off a little bit. I mean, there's so many consequences of losing these archery ranges on the front. He kept those vills taking gold. He's had to rebuild the archery ranges, and now he's got close to 800 gold
and idle TC for like 2 minutes. What is happening here? Idle TC for at the very least 2 minutes right here by the Viper. Looks like RiuT is going to move in on a whole lot of archers, a whole lot of skirmishers as well. And I don't see a chance for the Viper to stop this, Zero. He's only got a couple of archers here. He does not have any skirmishers. He's got 2 scouts and that's it. I don't like Viper's position here.
He's in trouble, and he can't build a tower back at home because he dropped that tower
dropped
onto
one
RiuT's
somewhere
woodline
else.
as well.
Indeed.
So no defensive tower. I think he might be tempted to throw up a market and buy some food, but I can't help but notice he's had a couple of idle villagers on the left side of his eco for about 3 minutes now. They're now
let alone the idle TC. Let alone the idle TC the whole time. He's got a couple of scouts now. They've got +1 armor upgrade, Zero, and with a couple of archers of his own right there in front of his goal, I think he's going to be able to defend from this. Zero, RiuT himself is going back with the army for whatever reason that might be. I was sort of hoping him to stick with the Viper, but look at this, Zero. More scouts from the RiuT. Yes, Bloodline's on the way. Bloodline's on the way. He's got the armor upgrade as well, so he does not want to go fast castle. He wants to kill Viper in feudal age. What a courage. What an ambition. What an ambition.
It's like a throwback to the old days, you know, massive feudal wars. It's the kind of thing that I live for watching AoE. This is the, you know, the ultimate entertainment to me. But throwing down that second stable, dashing his hopes of going to the castle age quickly. And
huge fight here, huge fight here in the middle. Looks to me like this is a one fight for RiuT. Viper needs to go back a little bit more. He was down the hill. And in very indeed, he goes back a little bit, tries to make use of his superior micro here, trying to snipe down a couple of scouts. He was able to do so, but RiuT has got +1 armor. He's got bloodlines as well, and he's got so many more archers. I don't see Viper having a chance of winning this battle here.
And he's got the hill advantage pushing down as well. If Viper fights too close to the bottom of this hill, he's going to lose. And all those scouts dropping like flies. Goodness me, RiuT is absolutely going to dominate that one.
It's hard to think, how could RiuT not lose this? And indeed, not win this, I mean. And he does get the first game here. That's the GG call by the Viper. RiuT taking in the advantage. Who would have thought? Let's take a fast look here at the achievements. Yeah, it's 51 units killed for RiuT. It's 26 lost. A huge advantage here. The economy as well. 45 villagers, only 40 for Viper. You have to say, that idea of going forward could have worked really well, but I think RiuT was just able to handle it in the perfect way, Zero.
I think his scouting, I think he got a little lucky with that scouting there, because Viper's rush was keeping RiuT locked in his base, and RiuT just scouted those archery ranges, and it allowed him to react properly before the Viper really had the chance to get the archer production going. But he did defend really well, he pushed it back very well, and I think taking the the option to add the second stable and the third range, he really committed to that aggression in the feudal age, and that was awesome.
Very nice game here. RiuT surely showing he's not here to let Viper just have a walk here in this match, showing him he's here to try and be a very tough opponent, and indeed he manages to take the first game. Nice job here by RiuT. Second map means it's going to be Arena. Arena, no Aztecs, no Mayans. Zero. What civs are we expecting to see here?
Britons, Turks, maybe. I think it's going to be interesting. Do either of these players dare go for the Turks, given that the other player may go for the Britons? And I think that's going to be an interesting dynamic. They might both play it safe and go for something like Brits. Who knows? I mean, we've seen in the Empire Collective Cup a lot of Brits, Turks, and Aztecs on Arena, and I'm going to be interested to see if they both go play it safe or if one of them takes a risk here.
We did see a very amazing game on your tournament, Zero. That was, if I'm not mistaken, Loisa versus Viper. It was an arena match.
Yes.
If I believe both went for Britons.
It was Loisa going Britons and Viper going Aztecs.
So a very nice match. I can still clearly remember. It looked like at some point Loisa could win the game, and I think he ended up losing, if I'm not mistaken. Very nice game indeed.
It was a good game. I think it was Viper there going for the Siege Onagers. Once he managed to get them out, he was able to push the Brits back. But until then, Loisa really had a lot of control. But here we go. Game number 2 now. Game
2 indeed. It's going to be Arena, as we just said. No Aztecs, no Mayans. And let's take a look at the civs. It's going to be Britons for the Viper here in the south side of the map, playing on the blue color, and RiuT went for Teutons. What do you make of that choice? I did not see that coming for sure. The only reason I can see for this is RiuT trying to do some kind of monk rush, or he's expecting some kind of monk rush and wants to make use of the Teutons bonus. That would be the only idea here for RiuT. Otherwise, I can't think of a reason to pick Teutons.
It's such a strange choice, and I mean, other than the monks, having the resistance, or you're just having the healing bonus, I just can't really see this. What he's thinking in this situation.
Me neither.
The only other possibility would be a tower, but that is
just thought about it, but tower rush on Arena on a tournament game, that would be something really special. Anyway, let's take a look at the maps first, and very important when it comes to Arena are the relics distribution. I'm taking a look at that at this very moment. We've got 2 here pretty much on the middle of the map. One of them might be favoring RiuT, the other one might be favoring Viper. Another one here at the very north side, just between those 2 golds of RiuT. That one is clearly favoring RiuT. And then we've got another one here at the very left, Still missing one, yeah, and one here very close to the Viper. So, I don't know, what do you think about the relics distribution? Is someone having a huge advantage at this point?
I think it's reasonably even, but I think it's going to come down to how the players approach the early Castle Age, because, you know, Viper, he's got the option to go for sort of like crossbows in the early Castle Age and take map control, and then go for the relics, in which case he could get all 5, potentially. But I don't think RiuT's going to want to let that happen. But, you know, in the Castle Age here, I'm questioning what he might do. Victorious in the chat thinks that perhaps he'll do a castle drop into Teutonic Knights, but again, I kind of just don't see that happening.
Going to work against Britons, right? How is that going to work against Britons? I'm very, very puzzled by this choice here by RiuT. I'm quite sure he's got an idea, he's got a plan for this, of course. He just not picks Teuton like that. He's got to have a plan for this. I'm very excited to see what is that going to be. Taking a look at what his Viper right now is doing with his economy. He's got 4 villagers on wood, and would be really weird not to see a fast castle going down here for both players. Zero. That is indeed the most common strategy, at least in the very early game when it comes to arena map. And you can see both players start with walls surrounding their base, and that makes it really hard to have some kind of aggression on Feudal Age. So most players, most of the time, just want to skip that Feudal Age and go straight into Castle Age.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair though, I mean, I have seen Age Rush on Arena before. Anything is possible if you play enough games.
Okay. Now,
but yeah, I think you know, probably monks from RiuT here. But you know, going monks against the Brits, I think they're gonna have a hard time, because the Britons' range is one of the best things that can help them to deal with monks in this situation. The additional range on their crossbows, the range on their longbows, +1 once they get to the Castle Age. +2 when they get to the Castle Age. It really helps them deal with the monks having 9 range, makes them easy to pick off. And so I don't know if this kind of monk strat will work so well for RiuT here. We'll have to kind of sit tight and wait and see. For now, RiuT pushing those deer in towards his town center, so we can expect to see, like you say, a fast castle from both players, and both players here taking their deer and just kind of doing their standard Dark Age build-up.
Very indeed. Viper just took his second board now. Looks like he will try to go for a very fast castle here. As far as I can see, he was able to lure a couple of deer as well. You can see 2 of them have been collected already. Sending the villagers. Yeah, it looked to me like that was going to be the gold. No, it's going to be the wood for now. Let's take a look at what RiuT is doing. Only now getting in his second board. He's got a couple of deer lured into his town center as well, bringing in another one. Very nice start from RiuT as far as I can see. Those deer landing just perfectly under STC. Nicely done here by RiuT. Not too many villagers on berries, but then again, that's not going to tell us a whole lot about the strategy. This is really puzzling for me to go for Teutons here. I'm gonna go for the point of view of RiuT and try to see his scouting. Zero. He just found 1 relic at this very moment. He's going to be able to find at least those 2 others, in my opinion. Take a look at what Viper was able to see. Viper was able to spot 2 of those relics at the right side of his base. Still does not know where his opponent is. Going to find out very, very soon.
Yeah, I think one thing to note here is RiuT's map is actually pretty bad in terms of gold. I mean, that gold there, so close to the wall. At the
very front, indeed.
Yeah,
horrible.
Very dangerous against the Britons' range. And his second gold is outside the walls. His third gold also outside the walls. And, you know, the only redeeming factor is that, yeah, the stone is in the back. But all of that gold is really in a dangerous position for RiuT. And Viper, you know, might take advantage of that. He will, if he scouts the entire center of the map, realize or figure it out just how bad this is for RiuT. And back at home, he's safely taking that gold way away from the wall, way away from any aggression whatsoever.
Very, very much right. I have to agree with you. He's got such a nice map here. He's got a gold in the back. Looks like the berries are in the back. The woods at very nice spots as well. Well, let's take a look at his point of view. He does know where RiuT is, but he wasn't able to scout that forward gold that it just mentioned. Looks like he is more worried about finding the relics first, and he's got 4 of them found already. Trying to see where the 5th one would be. Yeah, he's missing that one just very close to RiuT's walls at the very north side of the map. So it looks like he will be missing that one for now at least. Let's hope for Viper that he will indeed in due time find that forward gold, which RiuT does not have any option other than just take it. And maybe that will condition his strategy as well, Zero.
Well, I think we can kind of get an idea of what Viper's doing right now. He's throwing down a barracks, so this is kind of, to me, an indicator here that he's going to do a blacksmith and an archery range when he gets to the feudal age, and then he'll put down a second archery range and start making archers while he goes up to the castle age. As soon as he hits castle, he'll probably do that crossbow upgrade, and he'll have the map control very early on, especially if RiuT goes for monks here. But RiuT throwing down a barracks of his own, maybe we'll see a stable from him, and maybe...
Let's wait and see. It's feudal age.
There it is.
Goes for the stable indeed, so he's gonna go for a knight or at least scouts at the very early stages of feudal and castle age. What about the Viper? Let's take a look. It was exactly just as you predicted. It's going to be an archery range of the blacksmith right here in front of his base. Once more, taking a look at Viper's scouting. Yeah, he just found that very last relic right here at the very north side of the map. He still didn't spot the forward gold for RiuT, so this is really good for him. As you can see, Zero, both players were pretty much neck on neck when it comes to the uptime. Let's take a look at this. RiuT missing a couple.
Very close.
Yeah, only missing a little bit of food. There he goes. He's got enough. Looks like Viper was the first one to collect a castle age. A very slight difference, though. No huge deal.
Yeah.
Both players going for fast castle, just as we predicted. And let's take a look. Viper does have a whole lot of villagers on gold. I'm sort of surprised to see this, considering he's only got one archery range. That looks to me like that is going to be a whole lot of villagers on gold.
Yeah, I mean, 6, it's more than it needs for one archery range of production, but if he puts another range down, then that extra gold will be enough. But I don't know, maybe he's saving for crossbow, saving for, you know, bodkin arrow fletching, things like that. Interestingly, though, I think RiuT here with the stable, because stable and knights, I think, is risky, because if your opponent goes for monks, the knights get converted very easily. We're not seeing him make any scouts, though, so it doesn't look like he's tempted to make some light cavalry or anything like that. So I predict we'll see some knights, but looking at his wood economy, he's got loads of wood piling up. He's going to throw down 2 TCs very quickly here, and in doing so, maybe giving up a little bit of map control and maybe allowing the Viper to grab those relics very quickly. We'll see if his knight can actually do enough damage here, and whether or not Viper is expecting that. And even if the Viper expects a knight here, he knows that crossbows with +1 attack, it's going to be enough to deal with them, because RiuT's not going to have the resources to invest too heavily into upgrades, I don't think.
Indeed, and just as Viper gets to Castle Age, he's able to spot that forward gold for RiuT. That might be a really weak spot for RiuT. RiuT dropping straight away a siege workshop and a monastery. 0 empires.
Like that.
This is going to be full aggression. Looks like those TCs are maybe not going to happen just yet. Looks like he will be rather spending those resources in army. Viper's got a couple of archers here. He goes straight away for that gold of RiuT. He knows exactly where to start hitting. And it's hard to think RiuT will not lose a village, especially considering he's got no loom. But then again, really awesome fast reaction here by RiuT, moving away those villagers, making sure none of them gets killed.
Getting them away in time. Interestingly here, Viper not doing the crossbow upgrade yet. He's the one putting down the second TC, and that is unexpected, to be honest with you. I thought he would commit a little more to the aggression in the center of the map. In fact, it's RiuT who's kind of committing to that aggression right now with a mangonel, knights, and also monks. And at this point in time, you know, it looks like RiuT's going to grab the center control. He's going to regain control of his gold, and he's the one that's going to be grabbing the relics here. But, oh, there's crossbow for Viper.
Yeah, crossbow one just finished for Viper slightly a little bit too late, even though, yeah, there would be no chance he could fight off those knights from RiuT. RiuT has got a mangonel as well. Those crossbows are gone. They are history. And RiuT is going to start collect the relics. He needs to make sure he does not lose that monk right there. Looks like Viper wasn't very interested in trying to snipe it down. Viper just trying to scout a little bit of RiuT's base, and do keep in mind that scouts are a little bit faster than those knights. So if Viper keeps microing this scout,
he's gonna see
he will be alright. Yeah, it looks like he's indeed trying to scout everything he can. Viper is the first one to get a relic.
Right, I was going to say, he sees the second TC, which is interesting, and RiuT here going to put that third TC down quite quickly as well. But yeah, you're right, Viper here grabbing one relic, but it looks like RiuT is set to get the rest at this point, potentially 4 relics versus 1 now, as Viper falls back behind his walls and makes a couple of monks and double archery ranges. So it's going to come down to Micro here. Can he out-micro this Mangonel, or can he convert a knight and take it down?
Indeed, very early aggression. I love this. I love this. 1 Mangonel, 4 knights, a couple of monks waiting behind RiuT's army. Looks like this could end up being a very, very action-packed game. Straight away, early Castle Age on Arena. This is lovely. This is lovely. Let's take a look at what is happening with the economies. Viper with a slight advantage. 1 villager at this very moment. He's got more military units as well, but that's quite obvious, especially considering that RiuT went for the knights and not the crossbows like Viper did. 2 TCs have been dropped by Viper, 3 TCs in fact. So it looks like both players went for 3 TCs straight away. We can see that RiuT is only now completing his 3rd one. Over here on the gold, that's a very expected spot. Zero, he does know that gold. Yeah, that gold is just on such a weak spot, and he's just laying down a TC there to make sure his villagers are going to be safe for the time being.
I think the interesting thing here is Viper has so many villagers on gold, and he has for a while. He did the gold mining research so early as well, committed to making a lot of military. He's going to snipe one of RiuT's monks in the center of the map as well, and he's going to do his best here to prevent RiuT from grabbing those relics. But the fact he has so many villagers on gold really says that he's going to keep making those crossbows, he's going to keep making those monks, and that's the beauty of the Britons. They can do that, but they can also boom at the same time due to their TCs being cheaper and all of that good stuff. It looks like Viper here.
And Verity just a beauty, just a beauty here with that micro from the Viper. He was able to kill 2 knights, not getting a single hit for both of them. Looks like the Mangonel is here now. Viper needs to be really careful with this. Maybe RiuT needs to bring in a couple of villagers to try and repair that Mangonel. He's not doing so, so he just loses that Mangonel, not taking a single hit from that Mangonel. Snipes down a monk in the process. Lovely micro, something we're quite used to see here from the Viper. And I do have to wonder if RiuT is going for Knight Zero. I would have expected to see at least one of the armor upgrades.
I'm a bit worried for RiuT now. I mean, this is where the Britons become really, really very strong. I mean, those crossbows taking down the monks so easily and pushing these vills away from the farms on the front. It's dangerous. He's got 5+3 range. He can deal with the knights easily, as RiuT here only just getting the +1 defense, but he has no bloodlines, he has no +2, and with Viper's micro being clearly on top form, even the Mangonels are not enough to clean him up right here.
And damn right, ballistics upgrade about to be completed by the Viper. I heard a siege workshop going down. There it is. Right there in front of the gate of the Viper. He's going to start bringing a couple of Mangonels. Looks like Viper is not very interested in pure boom right here. Looks like he will and wants to go aggressive on RiuT as well. RiuT just completed the armor upgrade, as you mentioned before. He's holding on to his spot here. Those crossbows are trying to take down the Mangonels. Looks like Viper won't be able to do that just yet. Bringing in a couple of months, bringing in a Mangonel as well. This is going to be such an important fight, Zero.
And in the meanwhile, Viper collecting up the relics. He's going to have 3, and RiuT will have 2, so it's not a huge difference. 1 extra relic for the Viper here, but yeah, this is going to be a pretty big fight. Of course, Viper will force the engagement. His Mangonel, of course, can start taking down this town center if RiuT doesn't act and doesn't try to defend. So we see RiuT making a lot of siege, doing the Bloodlines upgrade on his knights, and chain barding armor as well. But these knights are a danger to RiuT, I think. If he commits too much to upgrading them, and then Viper gets some conversions, he can say goodbye to all of his siege. It's as simple as that. So, dangerous situation for RiuT right now. That TC starting to feel the heat as Viper's Mangonels come forward.
Indeed.
It looks like he's going to move in.
Yeah, RiuT deletes the walls. He's going to go in with the Knights. The Knights have got the +2 upgrade. They've got the Bloodlines as well. He starts converting, just loses 2 Mangonels straight away. He's able to take both Viper's Mangonels as well. I'm not sure what are those monks doing there for RiuT, and I have to say, this fight went so much in favor of the Viper, so much in favor of the Viper, and indeed, RiuT just sees there's no way of going back from this.
There is
it's
no
a
hope.
GG call. A very weird choice here by RiuT, to be honest, Zero, going with Teutons.
very strange indeed. And I don't know, maybe he was expecting Viper to choose some other civilization. If he knew that Viper was going to choose Britons, I think he would think twice about choosing the Teutons in that situation. But that final fight there, too many crossbows for RiuT to deal with, and Viper dealt with RiuT's mangonels very effectively there as well. So well played by the Viper. Going to actually tie this series up so far at 1 point apiece, and that was a really enjoyable arena game actually.
It was quite intense until that very last fight took place, where RiuT just got completely obliterated. And hard to say, it would have gotten a lot better for him. Viper had so many crossbows, and he got a couple of mangonels as well. Yeah, a very, very weird strategy in my opinion, going for Teutons. Well, you could sort of guess what his strategy was, right? So he wanted to take control of the relics very early on. He wanted to push Viper very early on, but he wasn't able to get the relics because he just lost those like 2 or 3 nights without upgrades to those crossbowmen from the Viper. And from that moment on, it did look to me like he was behind in army, he was behind in economy as well. Looks like RiuT needs a little bit of help getting inside the game room. Let me take care of that.
Okay, so game number 3 going to be on Sand Maze with Hidden Civilizations.
Very, very right. What are you expecting to see here? For those of you who don't know this map, Sand Maze has got a small pond in the very middle of the map. It is surrounded by a couple of desert terrain. Desert terrain means both land units and water units can move through it. What civilization are you expecting to see here?
Ooh, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Mayans? I think maybe Aztec, sorry, not Aztecs. I was going to say Mayans, not Aztecs, because obviously the Aztecs don't have so much potential on the water.
Underwater, indeed.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they might be tempted by the Aztecs still, but I think Mayans perhaps more likely. Maybe the Mongols, something like that. I know, in fact, there was a very famous clip from these 2 players on this map where RiuT made the demolition ships. Do you remember that?
I remember that one. Yeah. I remember it. Yeah.
They were playing Mongols then, so I think that could be an indication. They were playing Mongols in that situation, but I'm not sure if they had to choose their civs in that game. But we'll see. I think maybe the Mayans, like you say.
Yeah, maybe a couple of our viewers can remember one game for the Top Experts League #1, where Vipers played Jordan in the very final. And if I'm not mistaken, Jordan went for Mayans on that game, and Viper went for Mongols. So I do think that Viper likes to play the Mongols in this very map. Very, very...
That is true, but in a recent interview with the Viper, he does say, the Mongols are not as good as a lot of people think in these kind of situations. And he personally says, I prefer playing with the Britons over the Mongols. And, that hunt bonus, it's awesome, but it quickly runs out.
Well, look at that. It's Mongols for both players.
So, yeah.
Mongols, so looks like Viper was just trying to play a couple of mind games with you and with everyone else wants to get better at this game. Let's take a look at the map. It's here on the top right side. We've got the Viper with the blue color. On the left south side, we've got RiuT with the red color. Both players playing with the Mongols. Let's talk about the map, Zero.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say quickly about the Mongols. I think it's understandable, both players here going for the Mongols. They have done in the past. We've seen it many times in the past. And I think this map works well for the Mongols as well. Due to being very open, there's plenty of hunt around, but also there is the water, which the Mongols can also excel at very well. So the map, yeah, it's an awesome map, Sand Maze. And I think it's one of those maps where it's just different, but it's not too extreme.
What I like about it is that there's not a common strategy, right? There's a whole lot of possibilities, especially because this map hasn't been played a whole lot of times. It's sort of a new map, so the strategy for the maps are not very clear like they are on an Arabia Huntsword or something like that. So players are still quite open to try new things, especially on this kind of matches, right, where there's not too much at stake. I guess they could be able to try something new. I'm right now on the point of view of the Viper here. He's got a gold right there in the back. Looks like that is a very nice gold for him. Especially, he's got a very nice deer patch as well here on the right side. Considering
thank you,
he is Mongols. That's such a nice thing for him, Zero.
I think RiuT actually playing a really interesting start here. He's already taken his first boar nearly, and he's already taken a deer. He's pushing those deer in, he's taking the boar so very quickly, and Viper not even moving out to take his first boar yet. And I think that's really interesting. It could show us that RiuT is looking for an incredibly fast feudal time.
Incredibly fast feudal indeed.
I wonder if either player is going to be tempted to dock the middle here, because with the Mongols, you know, you can fast feudal so very quickly, you can get your scouts out so very quickly, and building a dock is just going to slow you down. But oh wow.
Yeah, so unfortunate. So unfortunate here by RiuT. Only a split second has made him lose that boar. Really unfortunate right here. But anyway, at the same time, he just brings in one deer. So that's not too bad for him. And I was talking about the deer for the Viper, but look at these deer from RiuT. So close to his TC.
Oh,
he
yeah.
barely needs to walk the scout to take them. So really nice map for RiuT as well. I guess the gold right there at the front is not quite optimal for him. But then again, gold is only going to play a major role a little bit later. As just as you said before, it looks like players will try to go for a fast castle. Let's take a look at the middle. Zero. Looks like RiuT is the first one to lay out his dock. Viper is going to be a little bit later. Yeah, interesting. Very interesting. Let's take a look at what are both players doing here. Viper indeed a little bit late. Yeah, RiuT is not going to try and snipe the villager right there from the Viper. But let's talk about this. The early dock for RiuT could mean an even faster feudal age uptime. What do you think?
Maybe. I think he's still going to have a really fast time anyway. I mean, this boar's going to finish up. He's got the deer
before
there.
He's got the first fishing boat, right? So I don't think it's going to play a major role in Dark Age at the very least.
Yeah, but I think getting that fast feudal is really important because you can start making galleys a little faster. You can take your opponent's fish down. And, I mean, I completely expected RiuT here to have the faster feudal time.
Indeed, look at that. Look at that. That was a 17 click.
Yeah.
An amazing click time here for the RiuT. 6 minutes click, and Viper is not even close to do so. He's coming, he's making a couple of fishing boats still. Looks like he's still trying to finish his second board. He wasn't able to get any of the deer under his TC, so I'm sort of wondering what exactly is Viper going to do here.
I feel that is a wasted potential for Viper there, with those deer being so close and so easy to lure. But this is really interesting because, I mean, Viper has the extra villager onto the wood here, but with RiuT being so fast, he is going to be able to control the water on this map. He's going to be able to take down these fish very quickly, and that's going to be a lot of wasted resources for the Viper. These fishing ships are barely going to pay for themselves by the time RiuT's got that galley there, and he's starting to take them down. And the nice thing about this map as well is that if you have a little bit of water or sand control, I don't really know how to say that, but you could actually prevent your opponent from crossing the map if you position those galleys across the center, because of course they can travel over the sand here as well.
Very indeed, and RiuT is the first one to make it to feudal age even before Viper has managed to click up himself. So Viper's got to know what is going to happen with those fishing boats. They're going to be history very soon, and you can sort of see that uptime from RiuT was a slightly bit too fast. He's hurting a little bit for food here. He's got his TC idle for a couple of seconds now. But looks like that is worth it in his opinion. He's going to snipe these fishing boats here from the Viper, that's for sure. But then again, Viper going up so late, it's probably not going to suffer that much from those fishing boats. Looks like he's going to try a fast castle here, Zero.
Yeah, a kind of risky thing to do, but I mean, totally, certainly
so
possible.
Risky, so risky in my opinion. So
Such
risky.
an open map. But yeah, he's going to lose the fish. That's a huge deal for RiuT right there. He's taking a very big early score lead. But like you say, struggling to keep that TC working. It's currently a little bit idle, but he does have a lot of sheep under here. He does still have the deer, so he's got no shortage of food. He's just not got enough villagers gathering it. But adding fishing ships now, he's going to be able to, take advantage of these fish. He probably won't waste too much time going to the castle edge himself if he thinks that Viper is going to go castle, or he could just get super aggressive, play a forward archery range or something, and just punish the Viper for doing such a late feudal time and potentially doing a fast castle here. It does look like he's going down that route.
Who knows? And he was just here trying to do... he was a little bit unfortunate in my opinion. He could have stopped Viper from dropping that barracks here. He didn't see that on time with his two galleys here, and just a split second there. make sure that Viper can drop down his barracks. Barracks being laid down here by the RiuT as well. I'm wondering to see, it's going to be an archery range. I guess that makes sense because he's already on gold, and going scouts this late into the game is not going to be effective. So it looks like RiuT will switch now to land army. He's gonna go for archers. And yeah, the Viper does look to me like he's going to try to go for a fast castle here, Zero. And he drops a stable, so he will go for fast castle and knights. I think I like this very much, to be honest, because the maps are so open. Knights are able to do such damage on the land here if they are able to get into the economy. And considering that RiuT is not even trying to wall, at least not just yet, that could be really, really deadly.
I think the interesting thing here as well is that you don't need water control, you don't need boats to kill your opponent's fishing ships on this map, because once the fish are taken in the center lake, then the fishing ships are going to move out to the sand, and of course that's where the knights can start attacking them and start taking them down. So that could be something that comes into play later on. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's risky from Viper to be doing this, but it seems like it's going to take a while for RiuT to get over there with any units whatsoever. So I think he's safely going to get to the castle age here. He's going to start making those knights, and since you said, like you say, the map being so open, he could do a lot of damage. The RiuT's starting to wall up already, probably anticipating something like this.
Very indeed, Viper is able to collect the castle age. He is very much safe at this point. I guess Viper knows exactly that he needs to sort of wall a little bit of his base. That is exactly what he's going to do right now. He knows that a couple of units are going to be flowing his base anytime soon. Now, dropping a couple of palisades over there on the left side. He really needs to pray that no archers come at a very horrible time, and looks like he will actually get away with this, Zero. RiuT only now sending a couple of archers. They've got no upgrades, even though the +1 is on the way. But by the time RiuT gets there, I think Viper will have closed the whole of his base. Yeah, he's even going for very, very forward walls right here. So very nice job here by the Viper. Looks like that fast castle is going to pay off. Let's take a look at the archers here from RiuT are only going to be able to kiss a couple of walls, and that's it.
Yeah, and they are going to get cleaned up very quickly.
Yeah, this looks to me like could be really, really bad for RiuT. Let's see if he manages to get in here. Ooh. Only a couple of palisades left to be dropped. Looks like RiuT has got the +1 upgrade. Viper does not see this on time. Goes back with one of those villagers, but then again, even if he manages to just go in, it's so close to the TC, I don't think he wants to risk that.
He doesn't. I mean, he's going to get cut down so very quickly by that TC there. And Viper up to the castle edge, the first knight coming out. Perhaps now fire ships as well, yes, on the water. Going to hit those fishing ships there and retake that, deny RiuT any more fishing. And with RiuT here kind of falling behind in terms of the castle age upgrade, Viper has the potential to do a lot of damage here with the superior army, and maybe with some forward aggression as well, maybe a siege workshop, and again, punish RiuT now for being
so late in very indeed. And RiuT can now see one of the knights just going in straight into his town. Good thing for RiuT, looks to me like he is fully walled, unless there's some hole somewhere which I can't spot at this very moment. Looks to me like he will be completely walled by the time Viper gets there. So this could be very important for him. And indeed, looks to me like the Viper should try to go forward straight away with a couple of villagers. Maybe a siege workshop as well. Let's see if there's a hole here. No, looks like there's no hole. Yeah, no hole between those houses either. So nice job here by RiuT. Looks like he will be safe.
Yeah.
For a couple of
minutes.
minutes.
Pretty easy wall, to be fair. I mean, it is an open map, but if you plan your houses and your buildings really early on, it's not too difficult. And looking at RiuT's archery ranges here, he's got 5 archers in one, he's got 3 in the other. He's going to have a good number of archers here. He's going to have enough to upgrade crossbow and to actually take down these knights very easily. But you can see Viper's not doing any upgrades on these knights right now, and in fact back at home he's adding his second TC and probably his third fairly soon as well at this rate.
Yeah, he was able to do a little bit of a damage here. He was able to kill the fishing boats with knights. That's not something you can see every day on Age of Empires, but those fishing boats are gone for RiuT. Looks like the docks are gonna suffer the exact same fate here. Those fire ships are there. A couple of knights are there as well. Viper trying to get in wherever he can. Looks like he won't be lucky anywhere here. RiuT very much on point. He's got a villager there repairing the house. RiuT hoping that he will be very much unhurt by the time he gets the castle age. He does get to Castle Age
so
now.
many
He's got
archers.
a whole lot of archers in very indeed. Let's take a look at Viper. Does he have a siege workshop? No, he does not have a siege workshop. So no stone walls either.
Down. I think he'll see the archers, I think, before they reach his base, maybe. If he's lucky, he'll spot them, and then he'll throw a siege workshop down. Because right now, knights are not going to work for him, not in the face of this many crossbows.
No way, no way. I wonder why is RiuT going back. No, I don't think he should. No. I think this is a mistake, in my opinion. This is a mistake by RiuT. Looks to me like he wants to make sure his dogs stay alive, but I think doing this is gonna give it away to Viper. I wish he would have gone straight into Viper. What do you think, Zero?
I think so. I mean, a palisade wall is all that is stopping RiuT from getting through, and it takes so little time to take down a palisade wall with this many crossbows. But he's going to try and protect his dock here, and Viper
is coming in with a demo ship. If RiuT does not see this, sometimes he's going to be okay. He gets it just before Viper is able to actually get a hit right there. But that could have been, that would have been major. That would have been huge. Looks like
he's got another one on the way though.
Okay, looks like he's got enough fire ships as well to try and tackle this army of Viper. I just really wish that RiuT would have gone straight away to Viper, but it looks to me like Viper just got in onto RiuT's space. Looks like RiuT just completely forgot to keep repairing that house. Viper is inside. He's got no upgrades.
Watch the center of the map.
No, okay, looks like I just missed it, but no archer was killed in the process.
Those knights are in.
Yeah, good thing for RiuT here is he's got enough TCs to just defend from this. Viper losing all of his knights, only one left. It's gone by now. Because do keep in mind, those TCs have got the +2 upgrade by now as well. So they are able to tackle those knights with no problem. And Viper does not have a single upgrade for those knights. Another demo sheep, Zero.
Yeah, and if RiuT is not patrolling now, he could be in a lot of trouble.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. RiuT needs to be on point here now. Looks like he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine.
He's fine.
The
thing is, RiuT is such a fast player. He's probably looking at his army every second or two, and he should spot that demolition ship. He's got enough range on the archers. He can kill them, demo pretty quick. But there we go. It's finally made it to the Viper's base, and there's that siege workshop from the Viper, but he's through the walls already, and RiuT now has no water control whatsoever, not a single dock in sight.
Okay, he really needs to do the damage before Viper is able to get that mangonel out. Viper, of course, moves away all of his villagers. He knows exactly where RiuT is going with that army. RiuT still no chance to get a hit here. Maybe gonna try to concentrate a little bit on those farms. Get a villager from the stone. No, sir.
Ninja villagers.
Not with me, says the Viper here. The Viper getting housed for a split second. RiuT needs to be watching these. The mangonel is coming out now. He's very close. Nicely done here by the RiuT display. Just at the right time, he's gonna be able to take the mangonel. There it is.
Not bad.
Yeah, he does lose like 2 or 3 of those archers, but not too bad, Zero.
3 crossbows is really, 3 crossbows, I think that's good for the Viper there. Well, sorry, for RiuT there, sorry. He's keeping Viper's villagers away from, he's zoning them out of these farms, he's pushing them away from this stone, this wood. But Viper has so many villagers on stone, it looks like he's going to throw down a defensive castle here. And obviously, as the Mongols, that could indicate that later on he is planning to go for Mangadai as well. That castle should keep him safe for now, and since he's still got water, he's adding in a couple more fish as well, just to retake the advantage from having the water control.
Indeed, and those archers from RiuT were able to once more try to do a little bit of a raiding here. He was able to take 3 villagers from the Viper, keeping the Viper out of a couple of resources. Viper wants to concentrate on that small army of RiuT. Looks like he's not going to do anything about the other archers. RiuT needs to be on point, and once more, there he is. He moves away. Just as you can see that mangonel really on spot here, RiuT, and he's going at such a nice place for him, going all the way around. There's so much economy from the Viper there. It looks like the Viper has got 2 mangonels, and he can see this, of course. 2 mangonels. Is that too much for RiuT? Is that too much for RiuT, Zero?
Probably. Let's see.
Nice standing ground shot. Nice standing ground shot. Only 2 get killed here, so looks like RiuT needs to go back. Another standing ground shot, and that's an amazing shot. And the army is gone for RiuT here. 2 mangonels were indeed too much for RiuT to tackle, and that castle goes down just in front of Viper's TC. What do you think about that Castle Zero?
Well, a couple of things here first. I think that really demonstrates, firstly, the importance of Town Watch. If Viper didn't have Town Watch then, that could have been a different story altogether. He knew those crossbows were coming in, and he moved the mangonels to intersect them. I think this is really bad for RiuT now. Not only has he lost a huge amount of army, but his third TC was very, very, very late. He's behind by a lot of villagers, and with Viper's castle going up, he should keep him a little safer, but the castle spot is not the best.
Sort of random, huh? Looks like he wants to stop RiuT from coming in from that side, even though there's plenty of opportunity to get in from other places. RiuT just walking around Viper's base, trying to find one more spot to start hitting the economy. But just as you mentioned before, let's take a look at the dashboard, and that's a 13-14 villager advantage for the Viper at this very point. And once more, Viper showing off his impressive defensive skills. Look like RiuT, no sir. I thought he was going to be able to take a villager, but Viper sees this from miles away and moves back his villagers. Once more, incredible speed, incredible reaction time by the Viper here. Let's take a look at RiuT's economy. 0. He's got a 4th TC on the way. What about the Viper?
I think it's necessary.
Yeah, Viper's got 4 TCs already. So the economy
that 4th TC is so important in a Mongol war. Obviously, if you're going for Mangadai, it's so very expensive to get all of those upgrades, and they take a lot of work. You know, they are not the strongest unit until those upgrades are done, and then they become unstoppable. So right now, Viper looking like he's got a reasonable advantage here. He's got plenty of extra villagers. He's had his 4th TC up a lot earlier, but RiuT keep poking in here. He's going to try and find some more vills. Viper's mangonels, they're everywhere, man.
Everywhere.
Yeah, awkward for RiuT right now. He just can't do anything.
There's no way to hit. There's no spot to hit in very deep. He was able to get a villager, but then again, he lost a couple of crossbows in the process. I think he's going to give up on that a little bit. He's falling back with the army. And strangely enough, looks like RiuT is the first one to click up to Imperial Age. And let's take a look at the military buildings. What is he going to do? 2 archery ranges at the very moment. Castle could be dropped very soon, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's it. The thing is here, RiuT faster to Imp because he's not had to make he's not had to take that castle. He's not actually had the Viper in his base, but he's also slower to make villagers, so he's not had to invest so much food into villager production. However, I think going up to the Imperial Age faster here might not benefit him that much because his eco is weaker. He's not going to be able to afford the upgrades that he would like as fast as he would like, and I think by the time he's managed to get a Treb out and maybe consider even trebbing down one of Viper's castles, Viper's going to be up already anyway. So I think Viper's still in a very good position, and since RiuT's invested so heavily into crossbows, it's unlikely to see Arbalest here, really. I mean, it's not the kind of unit you really want to be planning for.
Hard to disagree with you. The first castle goes down here by the RiuT. He making a couple of Mangyudais as well, dropping a monastery at the same time. And yeah, I think that early Imperial time is gonna end up hurting him a little bit more than it's going to benefit him. I totally agree with you there. Looks like the Viper just destroyed a couple of palisades right there on the top of his base. RiuT was not able to spot that on time. Yeah, Mongols do need a lot of time to get those Mangyudais fully upgraded. Those incredibly strong Mangyudais. So going up a little bit later.
Right side, Viper's on the hunt.
With that mangonel, very indeed, and a couple more to go down here. Looks like RiuT found a very nice spot to start hitting, but once more, Viper is everywhere. He sees those crossbows, moves away the villagers, and is able to not lose a single one. Imperial Age done by the RiuT. Let's take a look at what kind of upgrade is he doing. +3 for the range, not unexpected, right? He's dropping a second castle as well. Mangudai looks it's going to be the army option for both players.
Definitely, it's understandable. I mean, if you don't go Mangadai and your opponent does, you're in trouble. It's not a lot that
you're in trouble. You're basically in trouble.
The thing here, RiuT's gold, he just doesn't have gold. I mean, he's got 133 gold. He cannot afford to do Elite Mangadai. Viper, on the other hand, he's got 1.5k gold. He's got 2.5k wood. He's got 600 food. He's got so many resources right now because of that larger economy that he had for the duration of this game. And even though, yes, he's Imperial maybe 30 seconds, 40 seconds later, those techs can come straight in, and he has already got a larger number of Mangadai on the field.
And indeed, I just saw him make thumb ring. He's doing the +3 right now. Still missing the bloodlines as far as I can see. It looks like he will have the food required to go for elite Mangudai very soon. And look at those number of Mangudai. That's a scary sight in my opinion, especially considering it's only 37 minutes into the game. The third castle on the way for the Viper as well, right here on the left side of his base. A couple of Mangudai by RiuT. I guess this could be quite nice for him. He's gonna to try and snipe here. The Mango now is losing a little bit of time. And it looks like he only will be able to get one villager, if anything. There it is, one villager goes down. Viper straight away chases him with a whole lot of Mangudai, and RiuT is gonna try to run as fast as possible. Viper still does not have ballistics, so that means RiuT might go away in safety.
He's gonna run. He's gonna run. RiuT here, actually, elite Mangudai first. I don't know how he afforded that. I'm looking right now. I mean, he had 133 gold just a minute ago. I looked at the market.
The market has been abused a little bit. Yeah.
He sold 600 wood. He sold 100 food as well. So RiuT there having to sell a few more resources, perhaps an indicator that, you know, his economy's not quite as balanced as he would like. And Viper here, Parthian tactics coming in already. It's done. Elite Mangudai now done, and it looks like RiuT is just one step behind.
When it comes to the upgrades, indeed, Viper coming here in the left side, he's gonna be able to take down all of his villagers with no problem whatsoever. RiuT needs to go back a little bit with his villagers right there. He's got a TC, bringing in a couple of Mangudais, and looks like he's got a nice number himself. In my opinion, he's got a couple less Mangudais, so I'm not sure he should be taking this fight, even though Viper seems to be focusing his fire into the lumber camps and the outposts, even though looks like the fight
for the Viper
just goes in his favor, even though a couple more coming from RiuT. So looks like RiuT is gonna take all those Mangudai. Hard for me to understand why Viper just not go away. Look, he lost a little bit more than he should there, in my opinion. And let's take a look at the dashboard. We've got only a 4 villager advantage for the Viper at this point. Take a look at the military. It's RiuT. Well, he just had a couple more units. Looks like Viper just passed him once more, but very close in my opinion. 0.
Yeah.
So as far as I can tell, RiuT has done a very nice job at coming back a little bit.
But I think Viper here, he still just looks, you know, sometimes you just look at a player and you can see they just look like they're ahead. And, you know,
you just can smell the confidence, right? You can smell the confidence from the Viper at this point.
He's throwing down the stables already. He's starting that, you know, to prepare for Hussar. He's doing chain barding armor right now. So scouts coming out. He's going to do light cavalry very soon.
Ooh, this could be a nice fight here. This could be a very nice fight here for the RiuT. He's right there. He's got I think he's got more numbers than the Viper. None of them is microing, of course. There's ballistics, and he is winning the fight, in my opinion. Looks like he is winning the fight. The castle looks like it will be a little bit too further away in order for Viper to use it in defense. Yeah, looks like this was
a little bit close.
A little bit close, a little bit closer than I thought. I guess it's because Viper just brought in a couple more Mangudais in the meanwhile, but he is raiding all over the map as well. 0. Look at the very right side.
On the right-hand side, denying
really
that
nicely
castle,
done.
Killing the villagers on the stone, and he's even got his monk here to scout the very corners of the map to see what he can find. But I think it's been pretty back and forth in terms of the fights. Obviously, you know, RiuT won his fight back at home, Viper won his fight at his base, but now obviously Viper's one step ahead with the light cavalry. He's starting to get those techs done. He's got +2 defense done, +1 attack is done, and with the light cavalry finished up, and Hussar may be on the way fairly soon. He's going to look to raid very quickly.
Yeah, indeed. He looks to be everywhere. He's got the light cavalry, just as you said before. RiuT has got a couple of units right there. I'm not sure those are going to be enough. Actually, I'm quite sure those are not going to be enough. There's Hussar on the way. Those Hussar have got the armor upgrade, and do keep in mind, Mongols have got extra HP on those Hussar. The Viper doing what he has to do. Was able to get a couple of villagers there from the RiuT as well. So nice job here by the Viper. Going back a little bit more. He does not want to engage with that castle over there. This is the time where I want to take a look at the relics. 0. There's 1 relic for RiuT and 4 relics for the Viper. That is going to be a huge thing for the Viper. Huge advantage. Those relics generate a lot of gold, especially if you take into account that this game could still go on for a while. So Viper is going to have a very nice advantage right there. Taking once more a look at the dashboard. Looks like the Viper is leading when it comes to military numbers. But then again, I guess he's got a couple of Hussars. But in my opinion, RiuT has got more Mangudai. 0.
He has, and this could actually go really well for RiuT right here. If he can pick those trebs as well, that would be huge. Viper actually attacking the trebs in... What? Okay.
This is a very nice fight. I'm just
Weird.
trying to take a look at what is happening both sides.
Nice
Viper
one.
is raiding at the same time. He's winning the fight over there on the right side as well. RiuT desperately wants to get that castle up on time. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to. Well, Viper going back a little bit. He's going to help him. But those raids, Zero, those raids, a couple of hussars destroying everything right there. Looks like the wood economy from the raid is going to suffer so much.
I also have no idea how Viper won the fight on the right side so quickly as well.
Yeah, I don't get it. Or the hussars?
He has so many more manga die.
I guess the hussars. Anyway, it looks like the fight could go in favor of RiuT here. Viper does not seem to have enough Mangudai. Those trebuchets could be sniped out by those Mangudai so damn fast. And there he goes. This fight goes indeed in favor of RiuT. Nice job here by him. He needs to concentrate on those trebuchets before they take down the castle. One down, one to go. But the raiding is still ongoing.
That last treb going down, he'll save the castle for now. That was pretty important because now he can fall back underneath the castle and keep his army safe. But yeah, that raiding damage from the Viper, quite a lot of impact. He's now 16 villages ahead of RiuT. So obviously that's quite a big difference. And especially, you know, when you need your food economy, you need plenty of farms to make those hussars. And that is what's going to allow you to keep raiding and keep the pressure on. So Viper not able to take the castle, but he can continue to raid, and he's going to do that right now with more hussars moving down towards the south of the map.
Yeah, he's not going to stop. He's not going to stop. Spreading his hussars all over the place. In the meanwhile, RiuT going to do the same, and he just finds a gold here from the Viper. Nice job here by the RiuT. He will be able to take all of those villagers right here on the top left side. Viper raiding at the same time as well. That means RiuT needs to take a couple of Mangudais on that direction. In my opinion, RiuT is being a little bit too passive at this point. He knows Viper is raiding him all over the place. Those Mangudai are basically doing nothing. I think he should try to be a little bit more aggressive with those, Zero.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, the thing is, you get a little bit overwhelmed, and I think you're incredibly good at deathmatch. But you know, when you're being raided all over the place, you can't help but have to focus on your own economy, defend, and then you find out, well, actually, I have a bunch of idols on the right side that could be raiding themselves, but.
Yeah, I guess at some point you just want to breathe.
Base,
I think at some point you just want to breathe a little bit, right? When you know you're being raided all over the place, you just want to, okay, let's get my stuff together and let's plan the next attack. And looks like that is what RiuT is trying to do here. He was able to get a couple of villagers right here on the right side of the map. Nothing too major. And taking a look at the armies, Viper does not have a whole lot of Mangudais, but he does have a whole lot of Hussara. 3 trebuchets on the way, a 4th incoming as well. Looks like Viper's going to concentrate everything on this right side of the map.
I think so. And I think if you can break this right side, then you know, you can start pushing in from that right side, start pushing in from the flank. And obviously, if you can destroy these castles, then that will stop RiuT's Mangudai production and give Viper a very big edge. But those traps coming in, and, you know, there's not really many traps for RiuT coming out right now. He's got, I think, 1 trap on the map, and that's just not enough. Oh, wait,
yeah, let's see how this fight is going to go. Looks like the numbers are sort of even. Viper's got a whole lot more of Hussar, but then again, it did look to me like RiuT did have more Mangudai. Hard to say who's winning this fight, even though now it looks like he's going heavily in favor of the Viper. It looks like he is winning. Those Mangudai and those Hussar were able to tackle down the army of RiuT. RiuT is raiding at the same time, once more in the gold of the Viper, but he did lose this battle miserably against the Viper on that right side of the map, and that's the GG call. So nice job here by the Viper. He was able to defend those raids from RiuT, right? He was able to contain the damage, and yeah, so hard to penetrate Viper's base.
I think RiuT's raiding was very little in comparison. You know, he raided that gold at the top quite a lot, which was good, but it didn't have that much impact. Viper still had 1,500 gold in the bank, so it's not like that raid on the north was doing too much damage to him. And I think, you know, with grouping his entire army up, those 4 traps taking down the castle and then pushing RiuT right back in that engagement, Viper with a clear advantage, and it would have been very, very difficult difficult for RiuT to regain his military numbers and stop this push from Viper. Viper at that point had the momentum he needed to win the game, and RiuT knew it. That's why he called the GG.
Completely agree, and looks like the strategy was not that bad for RiuT. He did go really fast to Feudal Age to try and get the water control, but then again, he wasn't able to capitalize on those archers, on those crossbows that he had so many of them, right? He wasn't able to do any kind of huge damage into Viper's economy, and at that point, Viper just had the lead and he did not give it away. This is going to be game 4 now, guys. It's going to be the home map for RiuT, the currently losing player. RiuT goes for Rooster. We do know Rooster. Rooster is a very water-based map. It's pretty much all about the water, and I do know that RiuT is very good playing this map. I can remember a game of him against the Viper where he lost to Villager in early Dark Age and still got the game. And when it comes to civilizations, no huge surprise here. 0, I'm expecting to see Vikings for both players.
100%. I mean, Vikings, you'd be pretty mad not to. Though I have seen the Viper choose Huns on water maps before. I don't know whether that's because he wanted to handicap himself or whether he was, I don't know, just having a bit of fun. But probably going to be the Vikings from both, 99.9%, that's for sure. I do think, though, that it's an interesting choice from RiuT because Viper is a very strong water player. But RiuT, perhaps with the track record, feeling confident and maybe thinks he can do it again.
Yeah, I would say it's a very courage pick here, as a very ambitious pick here from the RiuT. We do know Viper's such a strong water player. Well, I will have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. He's probably got the confidence, and he thinks he can win this map. Once more, as we just said before, Rooster is a very water-intensive map. Players do have to win the control of the water as soon as possible. 20 seconds to go. The game is going to launch. And I would be really surprised not to see Vikings for both players. Let's take a look at the civilizations. Surprise, surprise, it is Vikings for both players. Let's start with the Viper here in the south side, playing with the blue color once more. He went for the Vikings, clearly the strongest civilization when it comes to water maps in this game. They've got cheaper docks, they've got cheaper galleys. Those are the water units that are available to you on Feudal Age. And taking a look at the map, I can see a quite exposed gold right here. To be honest, both of the gold seems to be quite exposed by the Viper here. Wood patch is quite nice, very close to his TC. The berries are exposed, but at the back, so I guess that's going to be alright, at least in the very beginning of the game. Tell us a little bit about the maps, Zero.
I like this map. I think this is a cool water map. Obviously, water is going to play a big part. There's only a very small choke point between the two players on the left side, which can be very easily walled up. So players don't have to worry too much about the landing or coming across from the land. But the interesting thing about this map is the way that the water is sort of distributed. You've got the lake in the middle, but because there's the water around the edge as well, it makes it possible to retake if you lose. It's not uncommon to see players losing the water in the middle, which is where they'll initially dock because the fish are better there, and then build their docks on the back to retake the water later. It's also possible to land on the edge as well, because if you lose the water control, a player might be tempted to do a landing, and since there's so much sort of water around the back of the map as well, a landing on the back could be a possibility. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to be interested to see if a landing comes into play. Though I do think a landing on this map can be quite tough because there's not actually that much space to land. To land and not be detected, right? It's really hard in very deed. I'm right now on the point of view of the RiuT, and I have to say that I prefer his map, especially because the gold over there is so well protected. There's no way the Viper can attack that gold. There's no way he can attack the wood line either. And I'm still searching for the berries. Well, the berries are sort of unlucky here for RiuT. They are between two wood patches, but then again, players don't go for the berries until Feudal Age. They usually just concentrate everything on the middle and try to get those fishing boats and get that dock as fast as possible, and only in the beginning of Feudal Age to try to go for the berries. First dock being laid down here by RiuT. What about the Viper? Yeah, it looks like both of them go at pretty much the same time, Zero. No huge advantage. I guess we can talk a little bit about the fish. This map does have a whole lot of deep fish in the middle.
And even though it does look to me like RiuT needs to go a little bit further when it comes to deep fish. Looks like the first deep fish is a little bit further away than Vipers. I don't think that is going to play a huge role here.
Yeah, it won't make too much difference. Now, the interesting thing here is that, both players are pushing their deer towards their TC. And sometimes, on maps like Baltic, players will send their scout to their opponent's dock to try and delay it or deny it. Oftentimes, players won't do loom, and in fact, both players here have skipped loom. So it makes a villager very easy to kill with a scout cavalry in the early Dark Age. However, didn't do that this time around. They're both pushing their deer towards the TC.
Hard hit from the Viper. Let's take a look at the Viper. Viper was trying to block the board, and what's more, what you just did with your video, Zero Empires, just happened once more. Viper saving a villager with a palisade trick. He does get housed for a split second right there, but he was about to lose that villager. Manages to save it at the very last second with that very fast palisade trick. Really well done here by the Viper.
I mean, that kind of thing, it's really difficult to do when there's lag involved.
Right, and when they're nervous, they're playing an important match and still have the concentration to do that kind of stuff. It strikes me as so hard to do.
Yeah, it's very difficult, and I think in this situation, Viper saving that villager, make or break kind of situation. If that villager went down, it increases RiuT's chance of winning the water by quite a lot. So, good job he saved it. Was a bit close for comfort, but for now, both of them absolutely, pretty much neck and neck. They're both clicking up to the feud ledge nearly identical times. I think RiuT is 1% faster.
1%
which
faster,
is, what,
indeed.
2 seconds.
There's no different whatsoever when it comes to the uptime when it's that close. Viper's starting to send a couple of villagers to the gold. I would expect to see RiuT doing the same. There he goes with 4 villagers. No, not just yet. Those look like they would go for the gold. Going for that second lumber at camp first. Something quite usual as well when it comes to this build order. Viper's got a second one already. He's going to send 3 villagers to gold. That's what you usually see. Second dock on the way for the Viper as well. What about RiuT? Is he... Yeah, he's doing his second dock as well. Looks like they pretty much mirrored when it comes to the build order. And the micro is going to play a massive role here in this match.
That's what it's all about, really. I mean, both players perfecting their build orders. I mean, the water build order, tried, tested. There's so little difference in the players' build here, and that's expected. But where the big differences come from are the galleys and being able to micro them effectively. And Viper's been accused of having invincible, immortal galleys before because his micro is that good. But RiuT as well, such a good, fast player, able to micro his galleys like there's no tomorrow. And whoa, Viper coming in.
It looks like Viper could be able to. No, he just goes back with a scale. Okay. Well, I did ask players to not lame, but I just referred to Dark Age. I didn't say anything about Feudal Age. Anyway, I'm not sure if that played a role here. Hopefully not. Anyway, Feudal Age for both players. 3 galleys queued up for RiuT. 3 galleys queued up for the Viper. This is all going down with the micro. The micro is going to decide who takes the lead in this water fight. 4th dock on the way for RiuT. I don't see such a thing for Viper. I do wonder why. It looks like he's waiting a little bit more to have enough resources to drop a 4th one. He's on the way right now. Looks like RiuT is going to be able to have that 4th dock a little bit sooner than the Viper.
Yeah, he's going to have that just a fraction of a second faster, but you have to wonder whether that's going to actually play too much of a role. It might give him 1 galley advantage, which could be very useful, but like we say, micro really plays such a huge role in this kind of matchup. RiuT here might be tempted by these fish as he gets very close. Very indeed.
He's so close to them. He's doing a nice job, in my opinion. He needs to focus the right galley. No, he's going to lose one. Why? Looks like he was too troubled with a scout. He wanted to kill a village. He's going to lose the scout. He does lose one of his galleys, so not going in his way, in my opinion. Viper does get housed here for a split second as well, so that could favor RiuT a little bit. But I do wonder why
both lost the galley there.
Yeah, why RiuT did stay there for such a long time.
That's so risky. I mean, fighting right outside of your opponent's dock. I mean, that galley, those 2 galleys from Viper coming out and basically saving the day. But I don't know, if I was RiuT, I might have been tempted by the fish there a little bit. But this is looking good. RiuT,
yeah, they're trading each other's units. RiuT takes 1. Viper Viper takes one, and once more, RiuT gets to take one galley. Viper trades it straight away, trying to use a runner here. It's not going to work. RiuT falls back a little bit. Taking a look at the dashboard, it's 1 unit advantage for the Viper. Viper even repairing it. I like this a lot. He does not want to lose too much time repairing it. So there he goes for the 3rd round. RiuT's pretty much expecting this, and these are some awesome dancing skills from both players. Taking a look at the HP, it looks like RiuT has got one on very low HP. Viper sees that straight away. Takes it down, so this is Viper winning at this very moment. RiuT goes for the hard one. Nice job here by RiuT. There's one of those galleys on low HP, tries to move back.
Now. Viper's just getting fletching, and he's gonna push RiuT back.
That's very important. RiuT needs them.
Galley.
And he goes
free galley
down.
on the left side. That is good news for Viper. He gets a free galley right there. He's killed 6, he's lost 4, and he's got the fletching advantage there. He takes another, and this is starting to go in his favor. He takes down these fishing
There
ships.
goes the fishing boat as well. And Viper's got the fletching. RiuT got it a little bit
going for the fish
later,
right?
if I'm not mistaken. No, RiuT does a nice job here. Snipes one of those galleys. To be fair, it's 10-10 when it comes to galleys. Well, Viper just gets the lead now with 2 more coming out of his docks. It's still sort of close. I would have to guess that Viper's got the advantage here, but RiuT is holding on to the game. Loses one without firing a single shot. I'm not sure I like this. He's gonna lose a second one. Indeed, Viper taking the lead here, that's for sure, Zero.
Yeah, and RiuT here having some idle TC time as well. He's not quite able to get the food income to keep that town center working. He's at 47 food right now, has been for a few seconds, and he's down by 2 villagers. So Viper getting ahead in villager count. He's ahead in military count. He's got more kills, less losses, and things are starting to swing in his favor. And these kind of things are going to start building momentum as this game goes on, unless RiuT can do something
he needs
special.
He needs to have a miraculous engagement here, and there's a couple of galleys from Viper on very low HP. If he manages to take a couple of those down without losing any of his, he could be in a nice spot here. Let's see if he manages to do that. Looks like he didn't find any of those hurt ones. Yeah, he takes one. He takes one. Nice job here. Loses a fishing boat on the process. Viper has got a couple of the hurt ones in the back. RiuT needs to focus that. I'm not sure yet. He wants to go back. He does know Viper's got a couple more units than he does. Still sort of close with Viper taking the lead, that's for sure. A little bit more.
Castle time here is going to play a big role as well. You can see RiuT now throwing down that market. And the interesting thing here is RiuT has got 200 stone. Viper has 190 stone. Doesn't have enough stone to sell twice at the market.
Why did that happen? Why did that happen?
He must have built an outpost on the front.
Yeah, indeed, that's an outpost. Yeah. It looks like Viper is the one who's going to try and go for land first. He's not. Wow. Yeah, there he goes. He's going to do an archery range. A little bit weird to me, but then again, he's got the control of this game at this point, Zero.
Yeah, he's got good control on the water. As long as he doesn't, let his docks idle too much here, and actually he is. He's kind of letting his docks idle a bit to build this range. He could lose this water advantage if RiuT keeps pumping out the galleys, and Viper, meanwhile, kind of slows down his production here. But this archery range could catch RiuT off guard, and it always amuses me on maps like this. Neither player walls it up, and there's like a mental wall there. It's like a mental wall, because both players know it's not walled, but both players assume that it is, because who attacks on the land? It's all about the water.
They're all concentrated on the water, indeed. A couple of nice engagements here for RiuT, in my opinion. He got 3 galleys without losing a single one. So it looks like he's doing whatever he can to come back to this. It's only a 1 galley difference, 2 galley difference now. So it looks like indeed he's sort of holding on.
Time. I was going to say, RiuT will have that faster castle time. He sold his stone.
He just sold everything he had. Indeed, he sold everything he had.
But he's flicking up. Any second now.
I don't know what's going to happen about those archers. Viper's got one there waiting to be useful. He's bringing in a second one. He's got 2 archery rangers. RiuT indeed is the first one to click up to Castle Age, but I think he's going to have a horrible surprise when Viper comes in with those archers. Let's take a look at his point of view. He can now see the archers. He can now see the archers. He does not have a barracks as far as I know, indeed. So he will try to fight with the villagers, maybe. No, looks
Well,
like
I would
just...
fight with the
Yeah,
Vills
me
here. There's
too.
only 2 archers.
Yeah, looks like
he'll want to push them back and wall up fast. He's going to throw down some palisades here, and if he can just keep these archers out, then he can take water control and play from there. If he loses 1 or 2 villagers, it's kind of
sort of okay, right?
Okay.
Sort of okay,
Yeah.
as long as he takes the water back, and he will be the first one to get the castle age. So maybe that could be a window of opportunity here for him. Looks like those palisades went up at the right time, in my opinion. He does need to drop a couple more to make sure Viper does not have the chance to go in from that side as well. Looks like he will do that at this very moment. Viper clicks up now at the castle age, but he's going to be so much later.
Yeah, he's a lot later, but at this point they are even on water. And with RiuT being first to castle, we can expect to see War Galley from him. And with Viper staying so close to RiuT's docks, I can only assume Viper thinks maybe he's faster to the castle age, but I think that would be a little naive of him. Anyway, RiuT walling up on the left side. He's going to keep himself safe with some stone walls there. It looks like
needs to hold. There's no hole there, Zero.
Yeah.
He needs to. Looks like that did work in his favor. We were so scared that the berries would be in a very tough spot for him. It ended up saving him a little bit of walling time, indeed. And Castle H is reached now by RiuT.
War Galley.
He's not doing the upgrade. Yeah, he's not doing the upgrade.
Okay, so he's doing Bodkin Arrow first. I think that's an interesting decision because War Galley is the better upgrade. It does affect your galleys in more ways. But still, I mean, Viper having to retreat. He's kind of conceding water a little bit. RiuT could go and hit Viper's docks, but I think RiuT needs to defend from these archers. Maybe a siege workshop when he has the spare wood available. For now, though, continuing to keep galleys coming out. Seems like he's not all too worried about these archers at all.
Indeed, and he wants to find the fishing boats of the Viper. He's not able to do so, so he will stick to the docks. No, he does see one at the left corner of his map. He's going to be able to take that one down. There it is. War Galley on the way. A little bit too late. I do wonder, why is he losing so much time to start destroying those docks?
The docks, yeah. War Galley, though. And
War
Viper's
Galley
coming
on
in.
the way. And let's take a look at the military. Is hard to call at this very moment because Viper's got a couple of archers as well. Those are 8 archers, so I guess we can fairly say let's take 8 out of that military from the Viper. And still looks to me like he's still got the lead when it comes to numbers on the water.
Yeah. He's got 4 more galleys, and he's coming in now as well. I mean, he's going to have War Galley, he's got Bodkin Arrow, but he has just lost a dock. So that's kind of, you know, the price to pay for being slower to the Castle Age. But oh wow, on the left side, RiuT picking off a few archers there as well for free.
With his galleys, yeah, I was able to spot that in the mini-map. Something going even better here for the Viper. He's going to be the first one with ballistics. RiuT only now completing the university, and Viper already on roughly 70% of the upgrade done. Viper still no War Galley though. What about that? It's down now. It's down now. There we go. It's just the dashboard being a little bit too late. And this engagement could be important, but do keep in mind, Viper has got the ballistics. And it's hard to think that RiuT can win this engagement without ballistics himself. He goes back a little bit more, tries to hold onto the series. Do keep in mind this is a match point for the Viper. If he wins this match, he wins the series. RiuT waiting desperately for that ballistics to kick in, even though he seems to be a little bit behind when it comes to the numbers. This will take a miracle to take the game back to him, in my opinion. He starts to engage now. He knows the ballistics will kick in anytime, loses so many units.
He's lost so many
while
now.
going back
this is a real
Zero.
uphill battle for him.
He's
and
trapped
the thing
here.
Is as well, Viper has Bowsaw. RiuT hasn't done the Bowsaw upgrade. He is hurting for wood at the moment. He's doing careening right now, but it's going to be too late to save him, and it's GG.
It's the GG. Immortal galleys, indeed. Immortal galleys for the Viper, indeed. RiuT was not able to face the Viper, and we can't say it was because of a bad start or it was because of a horrible map or anything. It was just pure skill on the water from the Viper Zero.
Yeah, I think interestingly there, I mean, look at the villager count at the end of that game. RiuT with 36 villagers, Viper on 45, and he's only just adding in TC. So RiuT there, just lack of economy, lack of wood really hurting him, and I'm wondering why that is. Maybe he just went all in, he just stopped villager production, and he used that food to do, you know, War Galley faster, used the food to do Bodkin Arrow faster. I'm unsure, but either way, I mean, Viper trading a lot better on the water. He did kill more than he lost in the early game, giving himself a nice early advantage. And that earlier castle time from RiuT just wasn't enough to save the day. Well played by the Viper.
Indeed, he did do the desperate measure of just selling all of his stone. That did up giving him the early castle time, as I just mentioned before. That was not quite enough to win the game. It did look to me like Viper was able to save his galleys just for as long as necessary to make sure that he could engage a little bit later with ballistics, with +2, and that was really important. Okay, looks like people want to have a 5th game here. Let's see if they will play the 5th. Care to play game 5?
Game 5 is
it would be the home map of loser of game
Viper,
4.
right?
No, it would be RiuT again.
Oh, again. Okay.
Let's see if they care to play game 5. Well, no well. Would be awesome to get here the 5th game press record. Yeah, indeed, this game will not change anything when it comes to the outcome. So,
yeah, Viper's won the series now.
So win or lose fast.
Viper said something about Man United.
Yeah, it's going to start in 15 minutes indeed, if I'm not mistaken. They will be playing in 50.
What he wants to do then.
Yeah, just we don't care about Manchester United, Viper. Let me... Sure. Black Forest is going to be the pick from RiuT. I don't really believe it's going to be. I think he's only teasing the Viper a little bit here. I really don't think that he's going to be the pick for RiuT here. But then again, what could he pick?
I don't know. I think, well, I mean, RiuT played very well on the land map, so I think Arabia again.
Maybe Arabia again. You're
Maybe
very
Arabia,
right.
Aztecs for him.
He did win that very first game with a very nice performance. He was all over the map, was able to actually at some point sort of... Okay, I'll pause the game, he's saying. Looks like at some point he was able to make Viper a little bit overwhelmed with attacking him on his base, attacking him at his base. I will kill them.
If anyone spoils the game.
The result. No worries.
Fine. I don't know, I think if RiuT chooses Black Forest, it's kind of...
No, I don't think he will. I think he just hates it.
I don't think he actually would.
No. He hates it. Sure. Yeah, Arabia.
Arabia.
Nice call here by Zero Empires. Yeah.
It might be Aztecs, though. I think it could be Aztecs.
Could be. They both like to play. Okay, Viper asking for the Huns War. Okay, so it's going to be a second Huns War.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Okay, why not?
Think,
why not?
If it was hidden civilizations and
they would go for
had
Aztecs.
any input, they'd go for Aztecs.
Sure.
Or Mayans, but more often than not Aztecs. But they're gonna play a Hun War, and that's exciting because that's the one that RiuT won. So it'd be interesting to see if RiuT can get another win here, or if Viper will perhaps a better map and. Not let him have that opportunity that he did in the first game.
And then again, when you know the pressure is gone, the match is won, maybe he will even try something funny here, something unheard of, maybe. Who knows? We would like to see something like that.
The thing with the Huns is that they're so versatile. You can do so much. You can rush into man-at-arms, you can rush into a fast castle, you can scout rush, you can... do scouts, archers. You can go full feudal. You can
straight archers.
You can do cavalry archers. You can trush. There's just so many options.
Indeed, and I think that's awesome. One of the reasons why people do love to play them, right? I mean, of course, there's the huge thing of not needing to worry about houses, which I think even experts players forget about houses, as you could see in those games. But that just pays a huge. It's also a huge economic upgrade and economic advantage as well.
Yeah, if you play too many Hun wars and then play something that isn't Huns, it's like you forget houses all the time. I think that's not really the main reason why they play the Huns, but it is a nice thing to have, isn't it? It's not just one less thing to worry about. It frees up time to micro, frees up time to do other cool stuff. So. Game starting.
Game starting is going to be game 5. Do keep in mind this does not count for anything. The game is won by the Viper. Doesn't matter the outcome of this very last game. And let's start by taking a look at the maps once more. The Viper playing with the blue color right here on the left side. the first thing that comes to my attention is that forward gold very far away from his TC. The backwood, I guess it's a good thing for him, but all in all, a very open map by the Viper here, as far as I can tell. I guess if he wants to venture a couple of villagers to go that much forward, he could complete a couple of walls, but I don't think he's going to do that. And taking a look at what RiuT has got here, he's got a gold on the hill, 0, not ideal, but then again, it's very much at the back, and all in all, looks like RiuT could wall his map a little bit better than Viper, even though that forward side of his base could be a problem to wall as well. What about the maps in your opinion?
Yeah, it's very open as always. It's Arabia. It's always very open. I don't think Viper's map is that bad, really. I mean, this cliff, if that cliff wasn't there, it would be a lot worse. But the fact that that cliff is, you know, a straight line across the front of his base, it does make a fairly easy wall between the trees.
Indeed, I'm just wondering if he will want to venture a couple of villagers. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I guess the left side of the map, or the upper side, if you will, could be a little bit hard to wall unless he just uses the berries to help wall that. That could be very large walls as well. But then again, it's the last game. The series is over, so to speak. So maybe they will even not play with a couple of walls and just
maybe
do whatever they feel like doing. That would be awesome.
They might be tempted. I think in this situation, RiuT's berries are a little awkward because they're on the front, but they're quite far from the TC, and they're also at the bottom of a hill, which means, you know, scouts, for instance, going to be able to hit that quite aggressively and play very aggressively there. Now, RiuT, it seems, not finding his final 2 sheep. I think Viper might find them before RiuT at this rate. He's looking for them, but they're in a really, you know, far location. I mean, that's almost closer to the Viper than RiuT right there.
You're so right. So far away in very deep. Looks like he will be able to find them just now. There they are, 2 sheep are fine. He's bringing in his first boar. Taking a look once more at the villager distribution, 0. We've got 3 villagers on wood for RiuT here, so I would expect to see once more scouts from him. Let's take a look at the Viper. He's got 3 villagers as well, so maybe scouts from the Viper as well.
Yeah,
it's going to
probably
be
not a drush this time around. You know, drushing is a lot of fun though. One of my favorite things to see is, you know, a fast feudal with men at arms. I absolutely love that strategy, and it's so fun. It's kind of risky, I guess. It's not always that effective, but it is a lot of fun. And it doesn't look like we'll see that here. Well, we could see that here, but we're not going to see an all-out drush because, like we said in the very first game, generally it's 4 villagers on wood if there's going to be a drush. So we'll see a fast feudal from both players, and we'll see most likely scouts.
Most likely scouts indeed, and it did sound to me like RiuT was taking a second boar. Yeah, there it goes. It's coming down here the side. Looks like that will come at a just very nice timing, maybe a little bit too soon. There's still a little bit of food left right there on the first board. Going down just at the perfect side here under the TC. Really nicely done. Viper doing the exact same thing. He was the first one to drop a farm. So yeah, it's going to be scouts for sure. You wouldn't be dropping farms if you would go for a barracks. The farm for RiuT as well. And once more, pretty much mirrored build orders right here from both players, 0.
Yeah, one thing I really like on scout rushing on Arabia, something I see Hassan do a lot. I mean, Hassan, quite well-known player, obviously. He doesn't drop any farms until he gets to the feudal age, and then he does horse collar, and then he puts his first farm down. He really delays it. I love seeing that kind of thing. It doesn't seem like we'll see that here. But it's just something that I always find quite interesting, and it's not something you see a lot of players do.
It's a very interesting thing to do in very indeed. That would mean that the farms that are dropped will be having that bonus food from the horse color upgrade. So indeed, it's a very good idea to do that. I guess players like to drop farms to sort of have a smooth transition from the natural food source like sheep into the farm economy, right? I think that's the main reason they would go for that. Loom being done here for RiuT. He will be able to click at 21 population. Yeah, it looks like Viper will go for a 22 population. He's doing now the loom, so he will go with 1 more villager. I guess these are both are the most common number of villagers to go up the feudal when you want to go for scouts. I think the 21 pop is gaining a little bit of popularity, to be honest. It only started with the top experts doing that, and by now you can see a couple of lower rated players doing that as well. I guess it does require very on-spot eco management because you will have less resources, of course. But then again, we're talking about 2 of the best players in the world here. They do know how to do that.
Yeah, exactly. I think in this situation as well, I mean, Viper's looking a little better on the food. He's got up with an extra villager, but he's still got more sheep under the TC. He's got that 5th villager out on the berries there. Obviously, 23 population, that's when you're sort of looking at Archer flushing, but it's certainly going to be scouts for RiuT with 21 population feudal, and probably the same from Viper as well here, since, again, 22 pop is one less than the standard for doing Archer flush. RiuT right now, buzzing around with his scout cavalry, getting that scouting info. He'll want to see what Viper throws down next, though he's probably going to have a very good idea what that's going to be.
Yeah, he will walk back a little bit, and judging by the building placement here from the Viper, I would assume that he will go for some kind of forward walls over there, just judging by the placement of that barracks. Feudal Age is reached by Viper. Scouts, no doubt, a stable is being made. I would assume RiuT is doing the exact same thing. There he goes, with 2 villagers here from RiuT, with 3 villagers from Viper. Scouts war it is going to be, and at this point, I need to remember one sentence I heard from Dreams, if I'm not mistaken. Someone was complaining that RiuT was playing against someone, and the opponent just completely dropped all of his villagers to the TC when he saw 2 scouts from the Viper. Then Dreams goes and asks him, "Why did you just panic like that with 2 scouts?" He said, "No, sir. Those weren't 2 scouts. Those were 2 RiuT scouts." And that's a whole lot of a difference when it comes to just microing against the RiuT here. It looks like he's bringing in a forward spear. Zero Empires, Viper doing the same.
I like that. I mean, the addition of the spear is really important, because otherwise, you know, the scouts, if they are microed well, they can really find a lot of damage onto the villas. And of course, the biggest deterrent to scouts, the biggest counter to scouts is the spearman. It does so much damage. And by sending that spearman forwards as well, it helps RiuT deal with the other spears from the Viper, and maybe even get some pot shots onto the scouts from him as well. But 2 spears from Viper at the moment, and it looks like RiuT here gonna have to kind of find another angle for now. He can't exactly engage that with Viper having more spears in the fight there.
Indeed, as far as I could see, it looks like both players managed to avoid any hits from the spear, and this needs to be RiuT on point to avoid a hit. He did get a hit right there, not too terrible, but then again, he was able to take a scout from the Viper, so nicely done here by the RiuT. He did lose his spear, but then again, that spear surely paid himself by getting that scout killed from the Viper. One of RiuT's scout on very low HP, but then again, Viper's got one of those on very low HP again, so that's a nice raid here from RiuT, going back with his scouts, bringing in 2 more, and this is Viper needing to go back to make sure nothing is going to be done here. The spear going from the Viper, a little bit of back and forth here. RiuT, of course, was on spot, manages to go back with his army before getting hit by that spear.
The interesting thing here is they're both adding more scouts. They're not transitioning away from scouts. Oh, nice micro by Viper there as well. Taking well, probably take down the spearman. But they're both adding more and more scouts. So we can expect to see bloodlines. We can expect to see a kind of prolonged feudal age here, because obviously the more scouts you add, generally the longer the feudal age goes. Not only are you spending more food on the scouts, but it also means that you're making it harder for your opponent to switch into archers, because scouts are very strong against archers in the early stage of the game, and there's a good number of them.
I do wonder how is this fight going here for RiuT. He just lost a couple of scouts to those spears, but all in all, looks like he will win this fight. He's got a spear of his own. He just killed both of Viper's spears. Nice job here by the RiuT.
Using his villager there as well to fight the spears is a really good idea. Perfect opportunity to bring the villagers into fight.
Indeed, and look at those scouts from Viper. Like, 3 of them are basically dead, and one of them is not dead, but as good as dead. So it looks like RiuT was able to do quite a nice damage right there. Both players dropping the archery ranges. Viper's got 2 of them. What about RiuT? RiuT has got only 1. The second one is on the way. But I think that's not going to be a major deal here. RiuT going around, all the way around. He will try to find the wood line and a couple of those farms from the Viper, if I'm not mistaken. The Viper was sort of wondering if he should go forward. Those scouts look like he's just changed his mind. Yeah, I guess he knows. Yeah, I guess he knows those map packs paying off. Indeed, and once more, incredibly fast reaction right there by those villagers. Going back to the TC, RiuT tries to find the wood line. He just does not start attacking. I do wonder why. He
going in and out, in and out. I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, he lost a couple of valuable seconds there. Yeah, Viper is now there with the scouts. Looks like he lost a couple of valuable seconds there, in my opinion.
The interesting thing here is, like, Viper has only... Okay, there you go. I was going to say he hasn't done Bloodlines, but he's doing Bloodlines now. And it looks like they're both going to be committed to this feudal aggression. Maybe they heard what we said in the first game about the feudal age just being so fun. And it looks like they're both aiming for that, you know, Scout and Archer combination. It's the best combination you can make in the feudal age. Scouts and Archers, and RiuT adding in that second stable just to confirm that he will stay in the feudal age.
Oh, yeah. And taking a look at the dashboard, that could give us quite a nice idea of what is happening in the game. And let's take a look at this. The villager number, well, it was on 32 for both players. Right now, taking the small advantage, 2 villager advantage for him. The military is exactly the same for both players. RiuT just now getting the advantage of 1. So it looks like the game is still very, very much even at this moment in time. I wouldn't say none of the players has got the advantage at this point.
Yeah, I would say RiuT is a little later with his blacksmith. He did his blacksmith after the stable, but he will, I don't know actually, he's walling up this left side. I'm thinking maybe he'll get that wall before the Viper comes in.
Ooh, he needs to be fast. He needs to be fast. I don't, yeah, faster, he can see this. He can see this. There, yeah, it's done. It's done. Nice job.
He must have Town Watch already. Yeah.
Yeah, he does have it. Indeed. No, but there's a hole. There's a hole there. You can see. Yeah, there was. Viper was just inside and he went back. I'm not sure why he did that. He's gonna go in now. Let's see if RiuT has got. Yeah, let's see if RiuT's got enough army to fight this. I would assume he's got it. I guess he's waiting.
Gonna have to fight uphill though. Maybe Viper didn't realize there's a hole. I mean, that is 100% a hole. There's always a hole.
I think he's waiting for the armor upgrade to kick in on those scouts. I think that's what he's waiting for at this moment. Of course, he needs to make sure that the archery range is not going to go down. But very close. 26 units for the Viper, 24 units for RiuT. The Viper is gonna start fighting, and I do like the position here for both players, to be honest. One of the scouts from RiuT is not fighting, it's just chilling right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Completely idle, but looks like RiuT has got more scouts, and that's so important in this kind of fights. Still quite even, quite even.
That's a good fight.
Yeah, very hard to say.
His advantage though, he's going to be throwing out more units here.
Yeah, more scouts
just about to come out, but Viper has the upper hand. He has more archers.
He's got more archers. He's got more archers.
Defense, though. That +1 defense and bloodlines, it's enough.
Yeah, I think
scouts are
all in all,
good.
Viper lost this battle. Looks like RiuT was the one to win it. You can see that Viper's going back a little bit more. It was a very intense fight, very close fight. And let's take a look once more at what happened here. Villager numbers still very, very even for both players. Looks like it's 38 for the Viper, 37 for RiuT. And let's take a look at the military buildings from the Viper. I can see 2 stables. I can see 3 archery ranges. A 3rd archery range on the way. What about RiuT? Does he have a 3rd one as well?
A 3rd stable and a 3rd archery range.
Okay, is that a stable as well?
Both. Yeah. He's really committed to this, and I mean, this is where it gets a little bit dangerous for RiuT here.
I can't see the stable, to be honest.
It's on the hill, on front. Are you on RiuT's point of view?
Okay, you mean for RiuT here. Okay, you meant RiuT.
Yeah, for RiuT.
Okay, here we go. Yeah. Three stables.
3-3.
Pumping scouts. I do like this a lot. This is going to delay his castle time, of course. More scouts, more food being spent on army. But then again, considering that both maps are so open, this could pay out really nicely to him, in my opinion.
It's quite dangerous for RiuT here, though, going for 3 stables, because that's a lot of food required. You need so many farms.
He needs to kill a lot of stuff to make it pay off.
And as you need more and more farms, you have to get further and further away from your town center with mills, which means that it's easier and easier for your opponent to find your villagers. And at the moment, it does look like RiuT's map is going to be hurting him fairly soon. I mean, Viper's here. It looks nice. It looks really compact. And RiuT just seems a bit more spread out. His gold looks really dangerous on that hill. And with Viper bringing in archers...
Those archers, archers are going to hurt. I hope for RiuT that he does see that on time. Just to make sure, is it paused for you as well?
Yeah, it's paused.
Yeah, it looks like there's a pause here. Probably Viper just making sure, the game is running and he is recording the game. That would be my prediction here. But then again, I do hope for RiuT. No, he can't see those archers. I do hope for him that he does see them soon enough in order to drop a tower or something else. Yeah, looks like it.
Nearly.
Nope.
Sort of. Maybe.
Not just
Who
yet.
knows?
Not just yet. There he goes.
There we go.
There he
On
goes.
pause now. So Archer's here for Viper. They have +1 defense as well, and that is kind of a big deal. But RiuT's pushing in on the front. This could be pretty bad for both players here.
Oh yeah.
In terms of economy. Let's see what happens as RiuT comes in on the front and Viper comes in on the back of the hill on RiuT's
Okay,
base.
so RiuT moves back of villagers. He does not want to engage that. That's for sure. RiuT needs to start attacking fast before Viper does too much damage. Before RiuT is able to do a little bit of damage himself. This is going to be so important. Who deals more damage to the opponent, Viper or the RiuT? Viper going in now, RiuT as well. RiuT's got a couple of archers here. I think he could win this. He was going back a little bit with the archers, not sure why. Yeah, he's killing the archers.
RiuT fighting with villagers, Viper here, killing a bunch. That is pretty painful, but actually not killing.
Oh my
actually,
God.
he's not killed the villager yet down there.
Yeah, what
No
is going to
villagers
happen to the
down.
wood line? What is going to happen to the wood line of RiuT here? He needs to move everything back, and I would something bad happened here. Hopefully, it's only a drop. Yeah, it looks like RiuT dropped. Hopefully, he will come back soon. Quite unfortunate. Just at the bad timing. Just at the most important moment. He's back. No panic, guys. RiuT is back in the house. They will be able to restore. Is he calling a GG?
From your channel.
Is he calling the GG? Hopefully not.
It was very close. I mean, he was only one villager behind. RiuT says it was over.
It was over.
User joined your channel.
Well, a little bit disappointing here from the RiuT, but then again,
Viper, of course, saying that. I don't think it was over. I mean, it was. They were both in
each other's bases, right? Okay.
Yeah. Well, Viper seems to think so.
GG, well played. Thanks for the series. Wasn't expecting you to come to my goal. Yeah, you could tell. You could tell he was a little bit surprised with that, right? He really was not expecting the archers to come from that side. A little bit unfortunate. Anyway, this is it. I guess I can correct the score and make it a 4-1 in favor of the Viper. 2 weeks away from the Maldives event and only a couple of days away from the last round of the Empires Collective Cup that is going to happen anytime during this week. I guess we will be hearing everything about it, Zero. And you will be able to advertise about the games as soon as possible. Do you have a small idea when it could start happening?
I don't think either player has started scheduling yet, but they will play probably next weekend, I think. I'll request that they try and schedule for the weekend. It's always better for the viewers on the weekend. Obviously, less people working and such. So hopefully they'll play next weekend, but I'll update things as soon as I know. And the AOC Zone calendar should have it on there anyway. So keep an eye out on that, I guess.
Indeed. In order to be updated when it comes to the Age of Empires scene, make sure to check regularly on empirecollective.net. Make sure to check regularly on aoczone.net, and everything is going to be there. All the recorded games, all the updates, all the news, all the tournaments, everything is going to be there. Everything. And I'm going to pull into the channel Tav. He wants to have a couple of words, and
okay.
Now it looks like he is here. He can just unmute himself anytime if he wishes to. And before he does that, I just want to thank you so much, Zero. It really means a lot to us that this finally is happening. Zero Empires and Vubli getting along, and I thank you so much. Love to do this with you, and I hope we can repeat this sometime very, very soon.
Yeah, it was great, and obviously thanks to you for hosting this little best of 5 preparation match, because obviously this wouldn't have happened without your sponsorship of it and organizing the players to meet today. So thank you very much, and they were enjoyable games as well, which was awesome.
Taff, you want to take the word?
Yeah, good afternoon. I've been here the whole time. It's just Nelson hasn't allowed me to talk for anybody that's on the stream. Okay, Nelson's the boss.
Well, now it is. There you are now.
I just wanted to say thanks to the pair of you. You, Nelson, obviously, for taking the initiative and getting a bit of a warm-up thing ready for the Maldives in a couple of weeks' time, and for Zach for joining in and getting involved and asking to get involved. Is really good, and I hope it's the start of many more little ventures in the future, guys. There's
beautiful
nothing...
friendship. It's the start of a beautiful friendship.
Nothing at all that stops us running loads of little things like this. I honestly think the future is more around small things like this than what it is about big events that take 3 or 4 months to run. I think we can do mixtures of them all, especially together.
I think there is a desire for more sort of weekend tournaments and things like that as well. The Captain's Mode Mini Cup was pretty successful this weekend, and I kind of hope there's more events like that as well, because they're easier to organize, easier to run, and it's really entertaining for the viewers to be able to watch an entire weekend's worth of events as it unfolds.
I absolutely agree, and I mean the good thing is we've done that for years on Voobly. That's where I started it all. It's only been the last 2 years or so that we've done the longer running events. Every event we used to run was almost fortnightly or monthly, and it was all played in one day. And we did it similar with the deathmatch one, the Awakening. It just shows as long as you're organised and you plan in advance, you can run a whole event in a weekend, and I think it is the way to go.
Definitely. But obviously, the big events are also really awesome. There's so much hype about them, and it's great to have, the big prizes and the big showcase events, because I think that's what might draw a lot of people to Age of Empires as well, because obviously it's got a bit more grandeur about it. People are going to be like, oh, wow, that's amazing. I didn't know Age of Empires was still so big. And that's going to draw people in at the same time. So
yeah, I agree. It has to be the mixtures, but we should run more of these little things in between. I know we got some plans to keep more going, and the Captain's Mode Cup on the weekend went really well, and we will definitely be involved to keep those going on a monthly or as frequently as sort of the players and the viewers want basis. It's good. It's good, but it's the start, guys.
The start of a beautiful friendship. Let me just repeat myself. And for those of you who are planning on going away, please don't do that. We've got another match coming up right here on Voobly Official. It's going to be Canada versus Finland, if I'm not mistaken. Canada versus Finland. Very important match for the Nations Cup. Nations Cup is now on its last stage, the round-robin stage for the 4 top nations. I wanted to say civilizations. Sorry about that. And if you guys still want to say something, feel free. Otherwise, I will just thank Zach once more for joining me here. Had great fun doing this. I sure hope we can repeat this sometime very soon.
Me too. Have fun casting, or I don't know if you're casting, but...
No, it's not going to be me. It's going to be Katsuni. For those wondering, Katsuni will be, if I'm not mistaken, right, Martin? It's going to be Katsuni. Yeah. So
have fun with that. It's Nations Cup's going really well as well. It's good to see that. I've not really been watching much, to be honest. Had a lot of other stuff to organize and such, but it looks like it's doing really well, and hopefully you guys enjoy those games as well.
Indeed, awesome matches coming up, and I think this is it. Martin, want to say something before we switch off?
No, nothing much. Just thank the pair of you, and as we said, hopefully it's the start of things to come in the future. I will just say one thing for Bua and the viewers. Sorry, this is a little bit less professional, but just one thing for Bua. You ready, Bua? Llanfair pwll gwingech o Gareth Windrobl Llantysilio go. There you go, sir. No more.
All right. Thank you for that, I guess. Thank you. Okay, guys, switching off. Thank you so much for being here, Zach, Martin. We'll see each other very, very soon. Bye-bye, guys.
See you later.
Furnace of war.